Okay, let me start recording as well.
Tequila.
Uh, Hello, everyone. Welcome to a special episode of Babes in the Park. This is Babes versus the Dark. It's a one shot that we're gonna do. Cross our fingers. Of Girl by Moonlight, a magical girl forged in the dark game, by Andrew Gillis. I want to say. It's a really, really awesome system. It's still in development. Hopefully, it'll come out in the sometime next year. um and it's very evocative of like different types of magical girl genres. Awesome, can't recommend it enough, and hopefully you have a good time listening to us play. This is going to be the first time a lot of us play, so we're going to run through some of the standard differences from other Forge of the Dark games and stuff like that. So Girl by Moonlight is, like I said, a magical girl game. Whenever you have various playbooks like normal, and the cool thing is that your squad playbook is different than like in other Forge of the Dark games. You're actually picking the theme of the quote unquote show that your characters are performing in. The characters are not aware that there's like a television show, but a lot of the mechanics and structure of the game is framed as if you're putting together an anime. But it's very subtle. So it's like the major story arcs are referred to as seasons, individual sessions or missions are referred to as episodes, etc. We are playing with the playbook Kingdom of Dawn, which is, I think, very traditional magical girl fantasy. Very, very heavily inspired by like Sailor Moon. So it's generally more upbeat. If you look at the bottom right, there is a document that kind of like goes over the tone of the Kingdom of Dawn and kind of the difference between like what the mundane world is like versus the magical world is like. Um, in general, as a player, the way you interact with the world is very similar to other Forge in the Dark games, except the ability list is very, very different. Um, if you go into your handouts, uh, your journal on roll 20, there should be a folder that has this called Girl by Moonlight, and it's got a bunch of little documents for you to look at to answer any questions about these part of the rules.
Um,
Um,
as a quick note
yes,
for anybody who's watching the recording that I'm doing, I couldn't get the screen capture to work, so you just get to look at the pretty uh I don't know, advertisement or whatever for Girl by Moonlight. Sorry, everybody.
excellent, all good. Um, and we'll go over the actions as I think the best way to do that, we'll go over the actions as they become relevant, but the actions in this game that are different from other Forge in the Dark games. You have your attributes are sun, moon, and stars. Your actions are confess, forgive, perceive, express, defy, empathize, conceal, flow, and analyze. And these actions they kind of set the tone. Combat and violence is not necessarily the major way you're going to accomplish things in a Girl by Moonlight game. It really depends on the tone of what you're doing, but the obstacles that you overcome are going to be more about making connections with people, dealing with interpersonal drama, that sort of thing. Um, the main other difference, there's two other main differences as far as the playbooks go from other Forge of the Dark games. You'll notice that your playbooks have like a special, like, the attributes or the points that you assign. There's like a second column, it looks like. You might notice, Lo and Daisy, on the right side of your, like, under sun, there's like the two dots, and then there's the extra two like stars.
Hmm.
Those dots represent your transcended state. So, like all magical girl media, you can transform, you can transcend beyond your mundane abilities. And that looks a little different depending on the game. And it's basically a state of like where you're invoking the power of your magical transformation. It's a limited time thing, but it allows you to access these powers you wouldn't otherwise have. And that's also true of your transcendent abilities, which is listed underneath the main abilities of your playbook. Um, you get 3 actions while transcended, and then you're done for the mission. So it's one of those things that it's like a big commitment when you do it, makes you very powerful, but you have to be very careful with how you use this. The other major mechanic that's different for playbooks is stress. So stress accumulates like in a normal Forge in the Dark game, but you'll notice there's no scar or trauma boxes. What happens is that when you max out on stress, you risk entering eclipse. It's the part where the darkness within your character begins to overwhelm them, and the goodness of your magical girl becomes corrupted. There's a save basically that you make, you resistance, a check you make to enter eclipse, and when if you enter eclipse, several things happen. There's a narrative trigger that happens. It changes the way your character's outlook is. And there's a narrative rule for how you escape eclipse. When you're in eclipse, you don't spend stress, you instead relieve stress. So you lose stress. However, if you're currently in eclipse and your stress is reduced to zero, your character is lost to the darkness and is no longer part of the game. Well, they leave the players basically. You join the side of the darkness. Um, so it's interesting. You basically have twice as many stress boxes, but it's much scarier when those run out in this game. So that was a big kind of info dump. Um, any questions that y'all have? Low and Daisy specifically. Doc, you've played this before. I think you played this exact playset before. I think
Mhm.
when we did the Halloween one last year.
Yep.
Oh wait, this is the second time you're doing a fucking Girl by Moonlight for Halloween. That's really funny, actually.
Yeah.
I was
It's
I
a
was
tradition now.
I was musing in the car as was driving to pick up my roommate Harley, and I was like, it's really funny that we went from our horror themed fucking game to playing a game that is based off of Sailor Moon.
Yeah,
Um,
for Halloween.
Halloween.
yeah, for Halloween. However, there is a ghost
So
here, so it's fine.
so last year when I did it, I actually did 3 one-shots throughout October for Halloween. I did a super horror end of things. I did a mothership one shot, which was a lot of fun. Um, very heavy on the horror elements and stuff, sci-fi horror. And then I did a one shot of Band of Blades, and that was kind of like much closer to the horror side, but like a little less so than Mothership. Um, Forge of the dark military fantasy versus the undead. And then I did a Girl by Moonlight. I wanted the light end of the kind of like spooky stuff that you could spooky Halloween stories you could tell. Um, and that's what we're doing today. I just like Girl by Moonlight as a system. I think it's a lot of fun, and I think we have a unique opportunity in Babes in the Park now for characters that would really, I think, fit in it thematically. Um, so the other big thing that changes in well, actually, we'll talk about that in a bit. Let's look at the characters that are on there. Let's introduce our characters today, and then y'all will pick the characters that you want to play. So we have two returning Babes in the Park characters and a new character. Our first character is Melody Rouge and Harmony Rouge. Their true name is TBD. Their role is the fledgling mystic. They are the Harmony playbook. In Harmony, you are a relationship, two people whose love has bound them into a single form and identity. Should you ever be separated, all actions you make are desperate until you are reunited. You roll plus 1d together info about relationships. So this is kind of the basis of the Harmony. Um, Melody's background is that she's a troubled kid and as an underground refugee. Her obligation, which we'll go over in a bit, is to help others in need. She has made a promise to our next character. I won't take unnecessary risks. Our other character, I'll introduce our other returning character, is Juniper Green of the Green Thumb Gang. Her true name is TBD, to be determined. Her role is the banding mentor, and she is the unlikely hero. She is only mortal. You cannot transcend or use special armor. You get plus 1 downtime activity. You get plus 1d when rolling social link. When only you can save one of your friends from fatal harm or severe consequence, and you do it, you may lose this move and gain Hero's Destiny. Um, Juniper's background is that she's an orphan who had to grow up fast. Her obligation is to run the gang and keep them safe. And her promise is to our other character, and the promise is that we'll get him into the Denim Rats. And our last character is Rafiq Al Rashid, whose true name is to be determined. His role is former enemy. He is the outsider playbook with something to prove. Choose another player character. They are your rival. You always have exactly one rival. Put their name here. And Rafiq's rival is Melody Rouge. His background is he is a surface kid. He's the second oldest of 6 children. His obligation is to take care of his siblings. His promise to Melody is that I won't owe her anything. So these are the 3 characters that we have to choose from tonight. Um, I will answer. I have some questions I can answer about some of the stuff going on. And if there's any questions that you have, if anyone's like picking your interest, let me know. So who wants to play what tonight?
Uh,
I'll play Juniper.
You gonna play Juniper?
Yeah, unless
That
somebody
that
else
that
really wants to.
that seemed like a very good fit for Low in my onion. I was thinking.
I am a sucker for the former enemy. I know that is what I played last time, but I have a feeling that Daisy's going to want to play Melody. So I think this
that's
is perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
wow. All right, I
I
get
think they
it.
planned this.
A little bit, yeah, but it's gone smoother than I expected. Um,
I was like, oh, I don't want to be an asshole and immediately scoop up Melody because I know everybody probably wants to play Melody.
Yeah, but I think we all also know that Melody is your special little child.
Daisy's going to want Melody, and also there's an asshole character. So
In my head, so I don't like. Okay, hold on. Actually, I don't like Card Captor. I'm a bad person. I don't like Card Captor, I guess. I don't like Clamp. And Card Captor has complicated feelings
yeah.
associated with it. However, I was like, the more apt comparison probably for this would be Card Captor than like Sailor Moon.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like
um,
fucking Rafik is basically Sharon, I think is his name.
Shauron, yeah.
Yeah.
oh, I see. Okay, I was thinking. Well, I was thinking like, well, I think it's explicitly Sailor Moon because it's like a large cast and stuff. But I see the relationship between the two. Yeah,
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
think I think the outsider is like a mix of. I think it's the outsider is like Sailor Mercury or Sailor
Mars.
Mars.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
Mars.
Um, Interestingly, big touchstones for this game include stuff like Serial Experiments Lane, Gunbuster, Sailor Moon, Madoka, Steven Universe. And actually, 2 of our playbooks are very heavily inspired by Steven Universe: The Harmony and The Unlikely Hero are both heavily inspired by Steven Universe, among other things. I think The Harmony is the most, but like The Unlikely Hero is literally like Steven and Madoka and stuff like that. Um, which I thought was cool. I never really considered Steven Universe a magical girl show or even on that axis, but I also am a little, I think, illiterate in the in the readings of magical girl media. But I thought that was a pretty cool insight. Um, okay, so Daisy is Harmony, or is Melody, excuse me. Doc is Rafik, and Lo, you're playing Juniper. Um, so I have a couple of questions to ask you to think about the characters and kind of give you a chance to like do some collaborative storytelling and kind of make them your own. And then I'll talk about the cycle of play because the cycle of play in Girl by Moonlight is different than it is in other Forge in the Dark games. So my question for you, my question for Melody that I want you to think about and have answers for. If you want me to give you character sheets, I can totally do that just so you have a place to actually like type.
Hi. Sorry. M came over and made it so that way I could capture the screen
Oh, excellent.
because M is cool.
Yeah, so
Um,
I'm going to just give you all some character sheets that they're not going to have any functionality like they do in Blades, but they'll let you be able to like take notes and stuff like that. Because I don't think all of you have an easy way to. Oh, the game is set to Scum and Villainy still. That's funny. Oh, it's set to Scum and Villainy, I think, because of Le Pipi.
Not La Pee.
I was like, oh, why is Doc's name on here? Oh, it's because the player list in this game is fucking enormous.
Okay, well, I can't get it to fit very nice, but so it's gonna cut off some of chat if we talk in chat, but that's fine. Okay.
Oh, let's get you one of these. Okay. So here's character sheets if you want to write some stuff down. You're more than welcome to just. I've actually, if you make a text box in Roll20, the 16 size font actually fits really perfectly. These are just the text you see on the character sheets is actually a Roll20 text box. But yeah, so Melody, I have some questions I want you to think about.
Okay.
First of all, what do you struggle with on the surface?
Um.
And you don't have to answer these right now, but like out loud.
Okay,
But I
but
would just want you to think about these, and yeah,
I just think that it'd be really funny if the main struggle is sunlight.
that is very funny. So just the environment is just very different.
Yeah.
Um, and then my other question for you is, does Grant know about Harmony yet?
No.
Okay. That'll be interesting for your obligation. Your obligation is to help others in need. Rafik, I have some questions for you.
Yes.
So I have some backstory for Rafik to give you to maybe help you with some of the ideas I had. So Rafik is about 15 years old. He's a young boy. He's from the surface. He's lived up here his entire life. And he is responsible for taking care of his siblings. But he is not the eldest. He's the second eldest. And he's got a bit of a restrained relationship with his older sibling.
Mhm.
And one of the things that he really wants is that he wants to join the Dinner Rat Association. He wants to do work for them. He thinks they're good. They do good work, and he thinks that it would be just the best way to support his family. He also really dislikes Melody Rouge.
Mm-hmm.
I think that she made kind of a big splash early on as with her main character syndrome, and I think that she turned down joining the Dinner Rat Association at one point, and I think that is like a sticking point with him.
I see.
Um, and she just kind of she's not much of a group person. She kind of just does things on her own, and goes on adventures and stuff. So like, I think there's some tension there, like with that relationship. So my questions for Rafik that I want you to think about are: why do you want to join the Dinner Rat Association so badly, as opposed to like doing anything else for your family?
Mm-hmm.
And this is an we don't know much about them as players currently, but you know, if there's things you want to add or input, or totally up to you. And then, do you resent the responsibility you have for your siblings?
Mm-hmm.
So those are the questions I want you to think about while we're getting started.
Mm-hmm.
And then Juniper, I have two questions for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so my questions for you, Juniper, to think about are: what do you do in what little free time you have? And is there anyone important to you outside of the gang?
Okay.
So think about
Sorry, I
those
was typing.
questions. No, you're good. You can write them in Discord. You can write them in Roll20. Wherever is convenient. We mute the share zone because it's always distracting when I'm DMing.
Could you give me a summary of what the Denim Rat Association does and
Yes, I
like
can.
what their vibe is?
So their vibe is good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they're an overcity faction. They're a tier 2 organization. They're a small manufacturing group that supplies the various communities of the Overcity with clothing and other general goods.
Hmm.
So I think that they're a nonprofit kind of group, although not like in a technical legal sense, because like there's not really laws on the surface anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Society, I think, has kind of collapsed and had to reform. But they do a lot of mutual aid work, I think. They specifically provide clothing and other survival resources for the people in the community up top.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Um, but I think that their work might be dangerous or require a lot of responsibility, and that might be why it's hard that they're very discerning with their members.
Is it something? Are they persecuted by like whatever legal entities do exist up here?
You know, I bet that there are factions and groups still up here that like it's almost Fallout up here, right? There's these like little factions and stuff. I think some of them, yeah, because they are very much like we help everyone. We're not really interested in the faction stuff, but
Mhm.
they're not exactly like medical providers and stuff like that. But like they do a lot of good, like a lot of the people that do medical stuff, are a big fan of them. Like they do their job. They do a lot of like looting, I think,
Mhm.
of materials and stuff. And so I think that they just uh make a lot of enemies because they decentralize power in a way that some people are not a fan of.
Mhm. It seems like they're probably less regarding of whatever like quote unquote borders there are up here when it comes to like factions
Oh,
controlling certain areas. They're more like we're just going to help whoever's needing help.
yeah, like they might have practical like this is territory that we need to be careful on. We're going to sneak through, but like they don't acknowledge their borders beyond like you're going to kill us if we're not careful.
Mhm.
Right? Like they don't respect their authority in that way.
Okay. I'm going to mute while I'm typing real quick because I have a feeling that it comes up on my mic.
We're all able to find the character sheets okay in Roll20.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
But yeah, I see that you've already edited yours.
Maggie. I just want to say, um, I don't, I don't know when to use BEAR or BARE correctly in a sentence, and at this point, I
Uh,
am too afraid to ask.
so bear as a verb, bear, is to like hold something or bring something. Bare is to show something. Like bear my fangs.
I see. Okay.
Think like a
Thank you.
ring bearer, like bears the ring, like that.
Oh, I
That
didn't
is
know how
not
bearer was
used.
spelled.
Yeah, you're good. So like that's ring bearer is like bear, like you bear a burden.
Okay.
Um, and then like bare is like you show something, you demonstrate something.
Okay. I'm gonna post something into Discord, but this is Echo today, except instead of being a gourd, Echo became a fish.
I got up too fast.
Oh, relatable. Are you alright?
Yeah, no, I'm fine. I was luckily sitting down once the lightheadedness kicked in. So the timing worked out pretty good. That's the biggest, I think, quality of life change I've had with my blood pressure medication is because my blood pressure's so low now.
Yeah.
Is like how lightheaded I get if I get up too fast. Are you gonna share these with the group, Doc, when everyone's ready?
Oh, sure, yeah. I didn't know how
Yeah,
you wanted me to.
yeah, these are public. This is a little dramatic irony and stuff. I think it's just fine for everyone to have insight into the other characters, especially as a one shot.
Should we put those in voice text?
That sounds good, and we can always move it elsewhere.
I really like the answer to your first question because it just makes Rafik sound like he's going to an interview, like a job interview.
It's
Like,
literally, yeah, when I was typing it, I was like, this really just feels like I'm doing an elevator pitch for a job.
hi, this is my resume.
I'm
As you can
seeking
see,
leadership positions. I love responsibility. I'm good with others.
Has
as
great
you
customer service skills.
as you
Mhm.
can see, all of my siblings love me. And none of us have starved to death yet. So I
Mhm.
think I'm doing a pretty good job. Uh,
I don't think Rafik is very good at de-escalation, though. I think that's perhaps a fatal flaw.
Man, I feel like I should have made it my responses wordier. They're just like one line.
Go for it. If
Mel-
that's all you need, that's all
Melody's
you
not
need.
very good at at resumes.
I have a resume story that's very funny if you'd like to hear it.
Oh, absolutely.
This was not. This is a friend's resume. Um, and they were applying. They used to work at Sonic, and this is while I worked at Frederickers. They were applying for a job at Frederickers, and um, they saw employment history, and it said from two. And so my friend put on his application from Sonic to Fuddruckers.
Oh my gosh.
Uh, Fortunately for him, he was friends with the hiring manager, who just thought it was very funny and gave him the job. Oh, okay. I don't remember Juniper doing that, so that is something I have to remember now. Thank you, Lo.
It's fine.
No,
It's fine. Juniper
no, it's
never got
okay.
taught how to structure an essay and doesn't know you're supposed to do it in the first person.
Yeah, it's fine. You don't have to remember that at all. It's a
No.
stylistic choice when writing a resume.
Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Okay. Looking for the director's principles for.
Oh man.
I also like the shift in dynamic of. I feel like Rafik dislikes Melody largely because she's such a like free spirit who doesn't really get tied down or like do
So,
anything in his opinion.
do you watch the Owl House stock?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not going to lie. A big touchstone of inspiration for me with Rafik is Hunter,
Okay, yeah, that's really valid.
Oh
I
my
can see that.
especially
gosh.
with the
Mm.
relationship with Melody slash Liz. Luz.
Mm.
Yeah, do y'all want to read what y'all wrote for everybody?
Sure.
All right, we'll start with you, Doc. We'll just go down the list. So
Yeah.
tell us about Rafik.
Um, do you want me to just answer the questions? Because that's all I have. I didn't write anything
Yeah,
else. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So, Why do I want to join the rats? I believe in the mission of the rats and seek a leadership position with them. I have great skills and am willing to fight and make difficult decisions in dangerous positions for the good of all. I kind of have a hero complex. Do I resent the responsibility to my siblings? No, although it may appear that way to some. I see taking care of my siblings as a noble thing, and I love to be there to provide for others. I do, however, resent my oldest sibling for being, in my opinion, irresponsible and showing a lack of dedication to helping our family.
All right, Lo, tell us about Juniper. How you answer those questions.
So I answered these questions from not a first person point of view.
Okay.
Um, what do you do in your free time? Horticulture, enjoys growing plants that can thrive underground. She derives joy from seeing the plants thrive and treats them as if they're actually people. All the plants have names. Her favorite is named basil, which is not actually a basil plant. It's probably some kind of succulent. I haven't decided. Um, is there anyone important to you outside the gang? Yes. Prior to the Green Thumb gang, Juniper bonded with a girl her age named Evelyn that she met on a playground as a young child, or the equivalent of what the sink might have as a playground, I guess. Evelyn lives a comfortable life, but is painfully naive and wishes to join Juniper in the gang despite living like a comfortable life uh, where she wouldn't need to be in a gang like that. Juniper is fiercely protective of Evelyn.
Aw, I love it. Um,
I love
all
Juniper.
right. Daisy, tell us about Melody.
Oh, okay. I wrote 2 sentences and I'm valid for it.
Yeah, you are.
Which is, what do you struggle with on the surface? The environment, especially the sunlight. Everything is new and bright, and I get overwhelmed or sidetracked easily. And, does Grant know about Harmony? No, I just can't bear to tell him. Harmony's dead, by the way, for everybody listening who doesn't know. Harmony is my dead twin sister. Um, whose body is being piloted by an angry ghost underground. It's fine.
So Melody is 13, Rafika's 15, which is very funny, I think. Like, fucking Rafik hates a 13-year-old.
This fucking cringe ass child.
And then Juniper is 17. Um, okay, so we're gonna get to I think we're ready to start playing. So the big difference, the other big difference besides all the other little things we've talked about. Actually, before we play, I want to go over I just remembered. I want to talk about the player agenda and my agenda as the director. So the player agenda of Girl by Moonlight is to play to find out what happens, be a fan of the other players, reveal your inner world, hold on but lightly, keep hope in your heart, see things through a queer lens, and explore the darkness. My principles as the director of In the Kingdom of Dawn is to give monsters human hearts, make adversaries not villains, and let the mundane world give voice to the darkness. Okay. So there's other things that we would do as part of a Girl by Moonlight game. You might notice that there's a lot of questions that you might fill out or blanks on the playbook sheet or the playset sheet. Don't worry too much about that. The darkness that we're dealing with is, I think, a remnant of the old world. It is the main antagonistic force that we're dealing with are the machinations of Rivet, the Dark Tinkerer.
Mm.
So the big difference in Girl by Moonlight from other Forge of the Dark games in terms of play loop is that you actually start with your obligation and you build stress before a mission. So you start with your obligation, what you have to do in the mundane world, and the stress represents the darkness's um, action on you through the mundane. Um, then we do downtime, and we'll do some downtime actions and stuff. They might socialize or other things like that, and then we'll do the mission itself. So let's go. Let's start from the beginning. And we'll go over the details of how these work. Let's start with Melody Rouge. Melody, your obligation is to help others in need. Now, you are. Let me take a look at your stats. Okay. So, when you roll obligation, you're going to roll the worst of your resistance rolls, just like the way you indulge your vice and other Forged in the Dark games. So, your worst stat is Sun, Melody. Your lowest attribute, as it were. And so you're going to roll Sun for your obligation. And the way it works is just like indulging a vice. You're going to roll your lowest attribute, take stress equal to 6 minus the die result. And on a crit, you get an additional downtime action. For any result, we narrate what this means for the characters. Use the attribute rolled as a guide for the ways in which the obligation affects your character. Since you are rolling Sun, your obligation involves scary people or circumstances or is physically taxing.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Neat.
So go ahead and roll me Sun. You should. Oh, I would recommend turning on macros in your settings because there's macros I've put together for Girl by Moonlight.
Oh, okay. Do I not have those on? Let's see.
If you go to it should be the collection tab next to the settings. There should be macros that you can turn on, and
Oh,
you want to show the macro quick bar.
wow. I can't see anything for some reason.
Oh, let me actually hold on.
Oh.
All right. I messed up.
Fortune roll, resist, action.
This should be in.
Do I need to invoke Arcana? What's invoke Arcana?
Nope.
Okay.
That's from To Teach Their Own.
Okay. Okay, so it's like a resist roll.
Yes, it's a resist roll.
Okay. I got it. I got a
So
3.
you get 3 stress.
Cool.
So why don't we paint the picture? What was your obligation? What did you do? Your obligation is to help others in need. And you helped someone in need, and it was physically taxing or dealt with scary circumstances or people. So what did you do you think, that gave you 3 stress? Like middle of the road. It wasn't the hardest thing you had to do because it goes from 0 to 5, right?
Mm-hmm. Ugh. I think we've talked about a lot about like Melody running errands and like delivering things.
Mm-hmm.
So you know that part of Kiki's delivery service where she has to deal with the really stupid massive package?
Mm.
Um, like she just gets a whole bunch of jobs all at once, and one of them's going really far, and another one is like she has this really big heavy package that she's gotta like weigh and lug around, and get from like the very like where the bakery is all the way up to like the very highest point of this place, and then also take it into the building. I think it's like that.
Gotcha.
Like I think that she just had a really long day of doing things for people.
I like
Um,
that. Nods. It's like the episode of SpongeBob where they deliver pizza.
I guess.
The seminal magical girl show.
Yeah.
SpongeBob SquarePants.
In order to understand what's going on here, you have to have watched a few episodes of Cardcaptor Sakura, The Owl House, all the way up through season 2, and also, of course, SpongeBob.
Yeah. So my next magical girl reference is gonna be Doug. So
Oh man,
It's my favorite
obscure,
one.
obscure pull.
Petty Mayonnaise is my true name.
I hate that. Don't like that.
Rafik, Let's look at you. So you have a choice, either moon or stars that you can roll. So what I like, this is one of the cool things I like about the system is that you can kind of there's a bit more story in like built into the mechanics of the obligation. So you have a choice, and you'll get to decide. If you roll moon for your obligation breaks your heart and drives you to despair.
Aww.
If stars is rolled, your obligation puts you under social pressure or sets off your anxiety.
Hmm.
So, which one do you want to roll?
Ooh, I like Moon. Moon sounded sad. That's
Yeah,
fun.
all the magical girls are, all the magical children are. That's just
Yeah.
it's the darkness is overbearing.
So you're
Okay, so
only
you'll
rolling with your mundane dice, right? So it'd only be one.
correct. You're
Okay.
you're so you're actually rolling resistance roll.
Hmm.
So that is based off your so that's just like the other Forge of the Dark game. So you have a star, you're rolling moon, and
Yeah.
you have one because
Hmm.
it counts up.
Wow, twinsies.
Okay,
Wow, two sides
so
of the same coin.
it was on the just about halfway stressful, leaning towards very stressful. Um, right, 0, 1, or 2 is low stress, 3, 4, and 5 is high stress. So what was so stressful that it was quite stressful, but not like the most extreme, like bad day of like a super bad day that like broke your heart or was emotionally taxing.
I think it was maybe just something with one of his younger siblings where like they clearly really wanted like some kind of toy or something like entertainment wise that he would like to offer or like have to give to them, but he knows that they don't have the resources for right now.
Oh no, is it like the
Like the little sister really wants a new doll because her doll is like really busted up and she hasn't had a new one since she was like very young, and she's starting to be like, "Oh, I really want a new one." He's like, I would it's a priority, but the main priority is keeping you alive. Luxuries are
young
kind of
enough
on the back burner.
young enough where like that doesn't quite,
Yeah, it's hard to explain that to her. Like maybe she's like 6 or 7.
mhm.
So like she's getting there, but she doesn't quite understand yet.
Did she
She's
like
old enough to socialize and be made fun of.
Yeah. Yes, that's very much it. Like she's the girl on the playground with the busted up doll.
did she like start crying in the middle of the market or something?
Mhm.
Oh.
And that's 3 stress because it's
Yes.
-6. Okay.
It's 6 minus the die you rolled. All right, Juniper. You're going to be rolling Sun as well, so you're also dealing with a uh obligation. Your obligation involves scary people or circumstances, or is physically taxing. Now, I actually have so this. I think that I have a bit more for Juniper than I did the other two. So Juniper, you're not from the surface, but you make regular trips up here. And I think one of the things that Juniper does regularly is that she is responsible for like training some of the younger Green Thumb gang on how to make the trip up, because that's a part of the responsibility of the gang is making these trips to the surface for scavenging and like trading and stuff. And so they take small, like the older people in the group um will take some of the younger kids on their first like expeditions. And so Juniper, you're definitely in part of your obligation. You're dealing with taking up 2 young children on their first foray to the surface. So that's context for that. So go ahead and roll me Sun.
I just
Resistance
did.
roll. Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, 5 stress. Oh boy.
Oh.
So maybe it'll give you context if I tell you the name of the children that you are escorting. You are escorting a little uh tinker human and kind of a pudgy little werewolf cub that go by the
Oh my
name
god.
respectively of Lettuce and Vomit.
Ah!
Oh no.
I'm so fucking mad. Jay told me about this
Oh my
ahead of time. I'm mad about it still.
oh my god.
I tried to get them to name the fucking werewolf cub anything but vomit, but we couldn't find any green colors that sounded like Grommet.
Oh,
Lettuce green and vomit green.
Yeah. Okay.
Two young charges of the Green Thumb Gang. We decided that the way Daisy and I were talking, that you pick, because when you join the Green Thumb Gang, your surname is green and you pick a new name. Like it's part of like the ritual of like this is your new family now. And they have
Yeah.
basically a giant old um painter's book that has a bunch of swatches. And so you pick a swatch that you like, and that also becomes your ID tag. So like if you're a card carrying Green Thumb Gang family member, if you can when you have your little your swatch to show people.
It's
Um
cute.
and those and so Lettuce named himself Lettuce, and Vomit as like as a gross little 6-year-old named himself Vomit.
6 years old.
And I think they
Uh,
talked about like Odie and Juniper and like Fern, like the older kids, like all looked at each other and like removed all of the other gross names they could find after
yeah,
that.
that would be what I would do too.
So this was physically taxing or involved scary situations or people. What was so stressful dealing with as like part of this like training for Lettuce and Vomit?
Um, I think maybe once they got to the surface, there's probably like I don't know, like maybe would you say there's maybe like scavengers who kind of like live up on the surface?
Like that. So like there was a real element of danger that like
Yeah, and
did
they're
Juniper
kind of
have to
like
like fight them off or like lead them off, or like what did how did Juniper overcome that?
I think Juniper had to like fight them off. Like they were like trying to muscle in on them and just basically like they were just acting like assholes and taunting them and stuff and
So if
scaring
you
the
look,
kids basically.
that's really I actually really like that. So if you look at Juniper's stats, the quote unquote combat stat defy is the it's like you defy danger. Um that is very stressful for Juniper. She has no action rating in that. So that actually fits a lot, that would be a very stressful like thing for her to do, is like deal with these like directly. Um while keeping the kids safe is probably the scary thing. She could just run otherwise. But
Yeah.
Lettuce and Vomit are not the most agile of children. Um and unfortunately they are also fiercely loyal to Juniper.
No.
They're good kids, just like little goblins.
Yeah. Oh.
Um
Yeah, and the kids were probably like, "Oh, let me at him," kind of
yeah.
thing.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So you'll just use the pin tool to mark the stress and stuff on your character sheet.
I had to Google hex codes to get a pink close enough to the pink that you assigned Melody that it didn't make me crazy to look at.
I think I can tell you what that pink is.
Too late.
Would that be helpful?
Uh,
It is FF67C5.
is it gradiented?
I have no idea. No, I think that is an optical illusion.
Okay. Okay. What was it?
FF67C5.
Oh, wild. That was so close to what I had put in.
Nice. Good job.
Thanks.
Uh, I almost said Odie. Rafik, yours is just Rafik and Juniper. Your colors are just default from the palette. I don't know why I used that shade of pink, but I just didn't feel like changing it. I used that in the other one shot. If you want to see what the other one shot was, I can actually show you. Um, it's archived. Let me bring it out. Some of Christine's excellent art is on this one.
ugh, my girl Genevieve.
Oh, I see. Oh my gosh. Howie. Oh, I didn't even see the drawing. I just said that.
There's a drawing of Holly's character, who was the one with the secret identity, the Enigma, like
Oh.
tuxedo mask. You live two lives. Uh your transcendent self is a different person than your, like, their identity is completely different. And then this drawing of the portal upgrade was very funny, just like using an extension cord through the portal at base.
Honestly, that's what I'd use a portal for.
I don't think there's any other drawings on here, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. Okay, so your obligations have stressed you out, and now we're going to get to downtime. So there's a handout I have for downtime. I will tell you that there's a downtime action. So the downtime actions are a social link, which allows you to accrue social links, which you can spend for various things. You can help a friend recover. You can investigate the darkness, which is how you learn about what's going on and how you tackle tougher missions. You can work on a long-term project, and those are the downtime actions. So you don't have to worry about investigating the darkness explicitly. You can if you want to get extra info, um, but I am going to provide some of that info for you for context, and I think I'll do that at the beginning of downtime. And I think that all of you have kind of heard through the grapevine that um, grave robbing has kind of taken an uptick. Um, but people are stealing. What's being stolen is not. Um, ooh, that's way too big. What's being stolen is not uh, like jewels and remain. It's and jewels and stuff. It's remains. People are stealing corpses.
Fuck up.
There have been scavengers about doing that.
Well, don't like that.
So, um, yeah, mostly what you're going to be doing is probably social links. One thing they suggest actually for one shots is only doing one downtime activity at a time. And I think I was going to go against that, but I do think for a one shot that makes actually a lot of sense. Um, and since you're getting, basically, this is an opportunity to social link. And I think that Juniper, because you're the unlikely hero, you actually get a second downtime activity anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. So, who wants to go first?
I'm trying to think.
Sorry, Doc, go ahead.
I'm trying to think because I want to try and workshop some kind of social link to do with Melody. Maybe Daisy can help me flesh that out. All I know is I want us to do something that is still in character but grants us a social link
So, let's
for
go
the
over what the
drama.
social link says. When taking the social link downtime action, choose another protagonist. Describe what the two of you do together. If it's something the other character would enjoy, that player can offer you an extra die. Roll an appropriate action. The chosen character gains one. So you actually give them resources when you
Mm-hmm.
so it doesn't, it's nothing for you. You're actually giving them resources,
Yeah.
which I think is really interesting. Uh, the chosen character gains one plus result links with you on their sheet. On a crit, you also gain one link with them on your sheet. Yeah, it makes sense. I think there's plenty of opportunities for Melody and Rafik to kind of run into each other.
Like constantly, honestly.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's really annoying for both of them. Probably mostly for
Um,
Rafik.
my question is, does like Melody know much about like Rafik's history? Like, does Melody know Rafik has like five siblings, or
Um,
does Melody only know Rafik as is this like adventure going to be the first time they actually have an opportunity to like maybe be friends?
I feel like when you have that many siblings, you get the vibe. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like not the vibe that you have lots of siblings, but the you have siblings vibe.
Hmm.
Um, I forget, is Melody or Harmony the older twin? This is an important question.
I think Melody is the younger twin.
Yeah, that scans.
I like the idea that maybe she knows, like, intuitively that Rafik has siblings, but doesn't know quite the level of responsibility he has to them.
Yeah.
And I guess my question on the reverse is, do Juniper and Rafik know about Harmony?
That's a great question. I feel like my instinct is to say no because I feel like she's keeping that really close to the chest.
Yeah, I would say no.
I I think that Juniper might have inklings that there's some weird stuff going on. Um, with Melody because Juniper did help with the getting Melody to the surface and also hooking her and her grandpa up with like a place to stay.
I think it's like Juniper gets a kind of a weird vibe from Melody.
Wow.
Like, she knows something's up but can't put her finger on it. Maybe just thinks the kid's kind of creepy.
Shit. Okay. Dang.
Just like, get a bit of a rancid vibe from this one.
Okay, that's just Rafik projecting.
I was just gonna say, like, Juniper probably thinks like, well, Melody's a weird, like a real weirdo, but a pretty good kid.
Oh my gosh.
It's also like, how often has Juniper had to deal with magical kids?
Yeah, I just assumed all magic kids were kind of creepy by nature.
Yeah, fair enough. I
I don't know how
guess.
many of the current Green Thumb gang actually do magic though. They may not have awakened
No,
it yet or anything, so who knows?
yeah, since it's a lot of young kids, there might be maybe like one or two, not enough for like Juniper to like really like understand the
Mhm.
vibe.
Yeah, this social encounter could be like y'all run into each other at the market, and like um Melody meets one of Rafik's siblings, um, who doesn't have a reason to hate Melody as much.
Hmm.
Um, like that could actually be kind of fun part of the obligation. Like this could be in the middle of Melody's big delivery route, and then running into Rafik at the market while like Melody is doing like Grubhub or
Hmm.
Instacart, basically.
And mechanically, this is tied to an action roll, right?
Yes, you'll
Okay.
roll an action, and then you get an extra die if Melody thinks if Daisy thinks that Melody would enjoy what the two of you are doing together.
Mm.
Because I'm interested in that case of making this an empathize somehow.
What if it's like, oh, it's the busy time of the market. Y'all both lost track of time. Melody because of the stuff she's juggling, and Rafik because he's got his little sibling that he's babysitting. Um, and like y'all have to work together to like get your stuff out of the market.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
Like I love this like cartoon ass episode like tension of like a mundane thing. But like people are being greedy and shoving around and not really giving room to like the children that are shopping.
Hmm. So like there's an impending like the closing of the market is happening and it's really difficult for us to like gather ourselves and like get out safely. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah. And to get the things you need at the
Mm-hmm.
market. People are rushing and moving around and stuff.
Yeah, I like that. I could see him like struggling and realizing, oh shit, I'm not gonna have enough time to get all the stuff I need, and then seeing Melody and being like, you're gonna help me.
Well, why don't we play that out and then um we can play it a little bit, describe it a little bit, and then do the roll, and we'll decide if we'll go from there.
Mhm.
So the scene is like the market is it's like the bell is tolling, and like the market is like 15 minutes left, and like there's like a wave of energy that passes through the crowds. That's like, oh shit, and like everything just like accelerates to like everyone's very tense. It's like become Black Friday all of a sudden for a very
Mhm.
small amount of time. Um, and uh and like try basically because of your obligation to your sibling, you aren't as free to like be the badass you normally could be and just get the shopping done. And then you see Melody, who maybe you don't quite realize is also struggling with things.
Mhm.
Oh, this actually, I really like this because like Melody's obligations to help others in need, and Rafik needs help, even though
Yes,
Melody's also
yes.
super busy.
Like Melody's like looking through the groceries and trying to make sure that like she's got everything for like old lady Boa up the road or whatever. And it's just like,
Hmm.
ugh, they didn't have any of the fruit, and she's gonna be really disappointed. Maybe if I get some extra of whatever, she won't notice. Um,
Oh, here's an idea. What if Melody talks to herself, quote unquote, a lot, and maybe that's where she has such a weird vibe.
yeah, like that's what I was going
Hmm.
for. I was going for her
Yeah.
literally standing there and talking like
Hmm.
into the bag almost, or like
Yeah.
looking at the bag, but she's talking. Um,
Yeah.
and everyone's like, "What the fuck is that kid?" Okay, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
They're giving her a wide berth, which allows Rafik to see her.
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, Rafik, I think there's like he probably had a list of things that he needed to get, and he got caught up like taking care of his little sister who wanted to like go around and look at, fun things and not boring stuff like groceries, and he's like wants to indulge her enough that she has fun at the market, but it got carried away, and now like, oh fuck, we didn't get any of the rice that we needed, and that's like 12 stalls over. We need to get over there. And I think maybe he sees that the crowd is giving Melody a wide berth, and that's why he approaches her and is like, something is up with this kid that people don't want to be around her. I can use her to move people from the crowd.
Not the weird one. She is.
Yeah.
Like, everyone else is finally getting the message.
Mhm.
um, Melody voice. Do you think that she'd like? Are plums a good replacement for a peach?
Hey, kid, Melody.
Huh?
He's just kind of like waving over at you and like looking around you and seeing if like, were you talking to somebody? Like, what?
Uh, oh, you know.
I don't. That's why I asked.
I talk to myself sometimes. It's fine. Uh,
Hmm.
what do you want?
I think he kind of like he doesn't want to say I need help, but he's kind of like suggesting down to like, look at this little sister that I have, and then he's like saying, I need to get to a stall. I need to get to the rice stall that's further down in the market. You're a courier, right? You have skills. You can do that.
Um, like skateboard under one arm. Does Melody canonically have a skateboard? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Excellent. Like looks at skateboard. Um, and also like big ol' sack of food that she already has. Um, I think she's like she thinks for a moment longer than she normally would, and then she like, well, I already got some, so you can have that, and I'll just go get more.
Oh,
This is a cute moment. I don't think Rafik like at all expected that response. And I think he's like, no, I'm not gonna take food from you. I just okay, wait. If wait, Okay, what if you watch my sister and I run? I can't run with her and I don't want to leave her alone.
Oh my. um. Hmm.
He's like, it'll only take a second. I can run really fast.
Okay, how about instead you just give me the money for the rice, and I'll give you this rice, and I'll go get more rice, and then you don't have to worry about it, because then I'm not giving you anything, you're buying it from me.
Oh my god.
You're gonna take like a million years.
Why? No, I won't. You've
Yeah,
never
you
seen me
are.
run.
You're like
I'm a
really old. You're gonna
sprinter.
take forever.
Oh my god. I knew there was okay. Oh my god, I'm so fucking sick of you. Please just watch my sister for like 2 seconds and I will be right back.
Sick of me? You're the one who talked to me.
Did you, out of character, did you just say fucking?
Me?
I can't help swearing. I don't think Rafik would have.
Okay. Little sister just like, hurry the fuck up. So no one in particular.
Okay, I'll watch your sister.
And like he puts her little toddler hand in yours and immediately just like sprints.
Okay.
Okay, so what action are you rolling here, Rafik? You think you empathize still?
It's either an empathize or a flow.
Well, what do you think is more flavorful for like the actual scene, I think. So
I think
no,
for
you're
the
good.
actual scene as to what I want to get out of this, I think uh, I empathize because I think this
Yeah.
is a moment where like Melody is like getting to know his little sister and like his perception of her is changing in a way, and that's what I want to get out of it.
Okay, I like that. Melody, are you going to give Rafik an extra die for this social link?
I think he's a butthead.
Valid.
I think this is also something that Melody is willing to do. I don't know how much. Well, if she didn't like helping people, she wouldn't do it. Actually.
Maybe she likes helping the child, but not helping Rafik specifically.
Yeah, she sticks her tongue out at him when he comes back or whatever. Yeah, I guess you can have a die.
You're
That's fine.
friends with Iki?
Oh my gosh. I think I wait, Iki?
Yeah, Iki.
Kitty face.
Melody will remember this.
Yeah, Iki and I are best friends. Actually.
Why?
Because Iki thinks that I'm really cool.
Why?
Because I can do cool skateboard tricks.
Why?
Uh, because I practice really hard.
Nods, accepting your solemn wisdom.
Melanie also nods, but doesn't fully understand what's happening.
So go ahead and give me that empathize roll,
Okay.
Rafik. So it's an action roll.
Yep. Is there a position to it?
Nope, it's a fortune roll.
Okay. So do fortune.
Yeah.
With one die.
Well, it's actually you get an extra die because
right.
of Melody gave you one.
I'll just roll another one then.
Yep.
Okay, well.
You're welcome.
So Melody, you get 4 links with Rafik on your sheet.
This is a helpful and useful tool that will come in handy later.
Yeah, and the sheet tells you what you can spend links for. So
cool.
make a note that that's Rafik. So one of the things you can do is you can spend you can spend one to give you or the linked protagonist 2 extra stress they can recover. You can let them ignore one of their harms. You can grant +1d to their action, and you can stop their eclipse on a 4 or 5 instead of just the 6.
Aw.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. Okay, So that was a really cute scene. And it's like uh I think that maybe when she comes back, she doesn't mention anything about knowing that you're best friends and stuff. But it's just like saying really nice things about you and talking to Icky and stuff. And she's like really excited that she got to meet one of his friends. Um, and maybe it's like, you get to see a softer side of him that you don't see ever. And maybe it's one of those things that like she's talking to him and um like he can't keep up the image because it would be rude to his little sister.
Oh
Mm.
my gosh.
Like he
Oh,
can't just say we'll talk later or whatever because that just might make her sad or something.
oh. I think like when they part ways or whatever. I don't know if they walk out of the market together or what, but whenever they like part ways, Melody's just like, see you later, Iki, and then sticks out a tongue and run and like skateboards off.
And then Rafik also gets a telltale pop up saying he will remember this.
Okay, very nice, Rafik. That was a really cute scene. So Melody, or let's do Juniper. We'll go in a circle. So Juniper, I presume you
Yes.
want a social link with someone.
Yes, I do. I wanted to do Melody.
Okay. And so what are you thinking about for your social link?
Let's see. I think maybe it would be like Juniper checking up on Melody to see how her and Grant are like settling on the surface.
Mhm. So maybe this takes place like after the long day that she had,
Yeah.
or it could be on a day off or something, or just the day that it could be a different day too. Um, where do they live? What's their house look like? Do they live by themselves? Do they live like in a community?
They 100% have to have like neighbors and stuff.
Hmm.
Um, honestly, I kind of imagined it was some kind of like boarding house situation, like Hey Arnold boarding house, you know.
Yeah, I like that. Oh, I like it especially if like Melody's the only kid in the boarding house.
Yeah.
Melody has like no friends her age.
That rules. I
Mm.
love that.
So I love the idea of this boarding house is like a well-known stop for the Green Thumb Gang because I think it was originally like Juniper got them a place to stay,
Yeah.
so it makes sense that it would be a connection with the Green Thumb Gang. Um, oh, what if they have a member that stays on the surface at the boarding house?
Oh shoot.
Oh yeah, I like that.
What color are they?
Is this Moss maybe?
No, Moss and Fern live together down under,
Oh,
don't they?
Moss is the name we've already used.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Do we have an emerald?
We don't.
We don't have an emerald. I like how that is a little ostentatious. I like it. I was gonna think of like rosemary or something, but I like emerald. Um, Emerald green lives on the surface.
People call
Um,
people call her Emmy. That, that's my
Yeah, I
thought.
like that. I agree with that
which
thought.
which is funny because there's the the other botanist is also nicknamed Emmy.
Oh, that's
Oh,
fine.
that is fine.
It is fine. People share names sometimes. Um, okay, so I like the idea that Emmy is like actually like like there's like a greenhouse on the roof. Um, I think there's a lot of sustainability and stuff here.
Mm,
Um, and like she's in charge of like she doesn't pay rent, but she basically is like the groundskeeper and like is the liaison for like is like the gang's solo member up here.
I love it.
Curious why Emmy doesn't live with the rest of the gang. Maybe like there's a personality thing about her. Maybe she just like she's a loner. Um,
Yeah, I think she it's like a loner kind of situation. She's more comfortable by herself.
Hmm. Um, okay, and then I think like the boarding house. I'm coming up with a name for the owner of the boarding house. Um, so I think the owner is an older, large human named Rustafel Riker.
Okay.
What's the name?
Rustafel Riker. Let
Rustopple
me,
Riker. Okay.
yeah, I can type it in chat for you. Oh,
Um.
I'm getting very confused because I have like my keyboard is not hooked up to my laptop yet. And but it's like right in front of my laptop, so I tried typing on it. That is the technical thing I was gonna do, but I'll just do it after the game. Um, so yeah, Rustolfo Riker, big, it's a very J character, very big, burly, not even burly, just portly, very fat, but like very friendly, in charge of the boarding house. Um, Probably a bad New York accent that you're about to hear. Hey, it's Juniper! Long time no see, kid.
Hasn't
Oh,
been
and
that long.
you got the
Oh,
goblins with you, little lettuce and vomit. Kind
please
of
don't call him
tussles their
Vomit.
like roughly tussles his hair. That's the kid's name. And
Oh
Vomit's
God.
like, and Vomit, I think Vomit has like a perpetually runny nose, so Vomit's just a gross little kid. Um, and is like, yeah, that's me. I'm Vomit. Yeah,
Juniper
you know what
just
they
like
want.
very Juniper just very exasperately like pats both of their heads.
You kids go see Grandma. You get some candies from her. Well, Junie, it's been a bit. You've been busy. What are you here for today?
I came to check on Grant and the kid, Melody, see how they're settling
Uh,
in.
yeah. Grant and the little weirdo. Melody's a sweetheart. Um, I you think this was the best place for a young whippersnapper like her? The only time any kids show up
I
is when you bring them along.
I don't think she gets along well with other kids because she has that vibe. You know,
Yeah, yeah, she's definitely a little weirdo, but I don't know. She's sweet. She works real hard. Um,
she's
I
a
don't know.
good kid.
Y'all are raising those little kid tykes just fine. They're goblins, but they're nice goblins. And I think it cuts over to them like being very ridiculous and rambunctious around Granny Riker, um, who I think is just like I think uh Rustafel takes after his mother a lot. And so I think that she looks a lot like she's like kind of a very similar build, just like she's old and like to the point where like her eyebrows are so heavy that they cover her eyes and stuff like that. You know that look. Um
Yes. Oh my God,
just
I love that.
I'm in love
just
with
a
this
big
granny.
sundress, just a hair put up in a bun, like white hair put up in a bun. Why, little kids? Old lady and New York accent. Fuck. Hold on, I gotta figure this out. Oh, you little kids are so cute.
What is that voice? Jay?
You went back around and it sounded British.
Starful, look how cute they are.
Oh
Please
my
don't give them too much
gosh.
candy.
No, you're right, dearie. Not giving them too much candy. And she's like winking and like just piles of like just they just get each a handful.
Oh my gosh.
Oh God. Oh God, they're never gonna sleep tonight.
Like homemade granny caramels.
Lettuce, the little tinkerer, pulls out like a cigar case, and it's actually like a candy case that he has put together. And he starts organizing the candy. Um, and he pulls out the one he made for Vomit, and Vomit just shoves all the candy in and closes it.
Saving it for a special occasion.
Oh, oh, vomit.
and just hands it, and Lettuce just kind of nods and takes it. Um,
I think like Melody basically is coming down the stairs still in PJs or whatever, even though it's probably like 11 in the morning or something. Um,
and I think Vomit probably yells very excitedly, "Melody!" And Lettuce and Vomit go to say hi to the cool older kid they think is cool.
I think Melody calls Vomit Vom, and I hate that a lot.
I
Oh,
think Melody is the only person that Vomit lets call him a nickname.
Aw.
only because it sounds worse than just vomit.
What, you don't like Vom? How's Vommy? Is Vommy better?
I was thinking about going by Upchuck, but they don't like it so much.
Well, why not? You could go up, huh, Chuck, and then picks them up.
Um, he's heavy.
It's fine.
I mean,
Picks them up like a tiny bit, but like when you're little, that's a lot.
no, it's great. I go, it's like Upchuck, and they're like, "What's Upchuck?" And I'm like, "Not much. What's up with you?"
Oh, that's a really good one. June, you gotta let this kid out more. He's funny.
Yeah, I'm funny.
Yeah, you're a real riot and a half.
Oh man.
Nods like, I know what that is because Lettuce helps me with my numbers.
That's because
And
Lettuce is a good boy.
just high fives. Lettuce.
Oh man. Um, what are you guys doing here?
Junie, this is how
We came.
Junie is. This is Junie is. It's funny. So I think like this is our first mission. We're actually doing work today, and
Yeah, and
Junie's
they're doing
guiding
a
us.
really good job. They're doing a really good job. I am super proud of them.
Oh, good job, guys. What'd you do so far?
We stayed quiet and out of the way,
Ah, yeah.
and
And they were
Lettuce is
really
like,
good.
and Lettuce is kind of, we sort of did. Like, doesn't say anything, but kind of.
Like wibbly hand gesture.
Exactly, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, like,
Um, you know?
They did a really good job of it until they didn't.
Constructive criticism is way more useful, Junie.
This kid is
You
not
gotta.
You'll get that. I know. You are too damn mouthy for your own good, kiddo.
This Granny Rika says that's a part of my charm.
well, Granny Reichert knows lots of things, so
Yeah,
maybe,
that's part of his charm.
yeah. See, Granny Reichert can never be wrong, right?
That's right. And she just tosses you a candy.
Ah, yeah. Catches it, unwraps it, puts it in mouth. Hell yeah. Um, hey, you guys
Of
wanna?
her like gives Granny a side glance, like, "Where's the candy?"
You guys wanna race me to the roof?
You want to lose the way to the roof, but he's still being held, and but Lettuce has snuck away because you're holding Vomit.
Oh man. All right. Well, drops vomit. Not like drops, but you know.
Yeah,
Uh.
Wank. Makes a duck sound.
All right.
What blood brother? So if he wins, I win too, and you lose twice. And she's like scrambling up in last place.
I'm gonna get you, but like it's standing in place.
Okay.
Okay. As these kids run upstairs.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're like doing that thing when you're a kid and you're like running up the stairs on all fours.
It's very natural for Vomit, who is a werewolf cub.
Yes.
Oh man.
So
Okay.
I have a vision. I need to continue with your role playing, but I need to give you my visual for like Vomit's body shape.
Oh, thank goodness. Um, um, uh, Melody is like, oh my gosh, how do you do that all the time?
It's a lot of practice, and also I'm super used to it. And if you would believe it or not, vomit is not even the worst one.
Oh, I need to go to bed. Still in PJs, having just woken up. Um,
You ever want to babysit them sometime?
no. Oh,
Just saying, you could earn money.
you can't pay me to watch your kids.
I mean, I could pay you in like hugs.
um, I think Melody just like puffs up her cheeks a little. Um,
Like Juniper like squishes them to make a fart noise.
um, Jeez. Okay. Are you here to talk to Grandpa again?
Actually, I came to talk to you to see how you were adjusting living with all these. And like Juniper like gives this like kind of like exasperated sigh, like adults.
Um. I think Melody's like, I, I mean, I didn't really hang out with a lot of kids anyway. It's not that weird.
You don't have any friends up here yet?
Uh, fucking like Melody standing there sweating as like in the background it's like Rafik. Um, I have friends, and they have names.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. Um,
What's the equivalent of Canada and Ilsa?
fuck, we haven't named any other
uh,
places.
they live in the Sky City.
Yeah, they are they from the Sky City, Melody?
Oh, I don't know. That doesn't even exist. What are you talking about?
They live in the vault. You wouldn't know them. They go to a different school.
um, no, he's real and a person, and we're definitely friends.
Well, good for you. Gives
And
Melody a
Emmy and
little
I are
tear.
like, sometimes Emerald looks at me when I go up onto
Yeah,
the
that's
roof.
pretty good for her.
Yeah,
That's pretty good for her, honestly.
yeah, we're like basically best friends.
She ever show you her plants?
Not yet. We're working on it.
That's when you'll really reach best friend status.
Um, well, I think that maybe she's not gonna like me very much. After sending those two gremlins up there.
Oh, she'll be fine. It's like a cutaway to like Emmy not being fine.
And me holding like a watering can and staring angrily into the camera as these two children.
Like running circles around her.
um,
How's your grandpa adjusting?
um, how is Grandpa adjusting? Jay.
I'm thinking.
Oh, okay.
Um, it's probably been pretty hard. Like, I mean, he doesn't have any social circle anymore, and he was kind of a weirdo butcher that like beat the crap out of people in his spare time. And that's like, I don't know. I think he knows how to be polite, but he is just kind of also just a weird guy. Off-putting. He's always like super worried about like Melody and making sure everything's good for her. I think he always feels really bad that like they had to leave. maybe is a little softer on her than he normally would be.
Um, I don't know. People used to come by all the time, and now it's just kind of us in a room. Um, except for everybody else. But it's fine. Everything will be fine. It just takes a while, you know?
Well, make sure you don't get yourself into anything dangerous. Make him worry anymore than he already does. He cares about you a lot.
When have I ever done anything dangerous?
Literally every single time I've ever seen you.
Well, that's only like 3 times, so that means nothing.
Three is kind of bad, but that's fine. It's fine. You're a good kid.
I'm the best. And like is not going upstairs to deal with the gremlins and is in fact slipping around Juniper to go and get food from the kitchen or whatever. Um in fact, I have a
Right.
job and I make money. I'm doing great.
Wow.
I
You're all
know.
grown up now.
I'm mhm. I'm cool and I pay bills. So, you don't have to worry about me.
I think Juniper just kind of like covers her mouth to like hide like a laugh.
Bills bought pizza once.
So this seems like a good time to like make the roll. So this is what action are you doing? What do you want to do, Juniper, with Melody? And like Melody, do you think that you well let's see the action first. So I showed you a list of actions. There's a little more detail in these. If you want to take a closer look at them.
Yeah, I'm reading them right. Maybe empathize.
Okay, I like that. Uh, so um, Melody, did
Mhm.
this social link? Did you enjoy it? Was it something you enjoyed?
So I think it's tough because I think Melody does think Juniper's cool and like Juniper. But I think also she really doesn't like when Juniper like checks up on them. Um, I think it just makes her feel really bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So just 1D. So it's an
Okay.
action roll, and the position is fortune.
There's not fortune on here.
Is there not?
Hold on.
There should be on
No,
the.
can I?
Yeah, you'll
No,
you'll
I mean
pick
like there's.
you'll pick empathize.
Yeah, I know. I mean when I pick empathize,
Oh,
if I do an
interesting.
action roll.
Yeah, no, you have to do it through like the fortune roll button. It doesn't
Oh,
let you do
right.
it.
There's a fortune roll macro. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Where
that
you'll just
okay.
roll. Okay, you'll just roll one fortune die. Okay. Okay. So I like that kind of like that tone of it. So you'll get Melody, you get 2 links with Juniper.
Woo! Friendship.
All right. Melody, you have the last downtime action. What would you like to do?
Um. Ah, dang. Well, shoot. Who do I want to hang out with? Is the real question. Um. I think in fiction the most likely thing would actually be that Melody like is like, okay, I'm done getting my checkup done. I'm gonna sneak out. Bye everybody. Um because like I said, I don't think that she really likes when people come and check in on her and are like, "Hey, are you doing okay? Is everything all right? Are you comfy cozy?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. You're not my mom." Is kind of the vibe. Except her mom sucks, so it doesn't, Anyway,
Yeah.
so I think that she leaves, and probably run into Rafik.
Okay.
Um,
What do you
gosh.
and Rafik get up to?
Um, I didn't think this far ahead. I'm a fool.
I
Um,
can give you well, I think what happens might happen after the fact. Um yeah, I'll give you some more information about what's going on after the last downtime link. Talk.
um, gosh. I think in my head it's like an alley. I like alley vibes in my life.
Mhm.
Um, gosh, what is Rafik doing if he's not taking care of his little siblings?
Maybe maybe it's the kind of thing where Rafik has like a moment away from his family and he's kind of like, yeah, I don't really know what I do when I'm not doing my obligation. And they just kind of like run into each other while Melody is like escaping to go off and do her own shit.
Love it. I really like the idea that Melody's like fucking like skateboarding through alleys or whatever, just like being a little bit sneaky, but also like far enough away from the boarding house that it doesn't matter as much, and is like talking to Harmony, who is like annoyed with her for being like this.
Maybe
Um,
Rafik is just like, because we can see the stars up here, right? Like there isn't any like light pollution anymore, anyways.
Right.
yeah,
So yeah, maybe he's just like stargazing and enjoying like, ah, I finally have a quiet moment to myself. Here comes Melody.
through the alley next to your house, or next to this old abandoned building.
Hmm.
Um, Look, I don't know, okay? It just makes me feel bad. I don't like it. I don't like it when they come and they're like, "Oh, how are you doing? How's everything?" I'm like, "I'm fine. I'm fine. I don't need people to be up here doing things." I mean, it's not like I don't I don't know. It's complicated. I'm
I think
fine.
I like the idea that Rafik can hear you coming from down the alleyway and is annoyed, but is also like, oh fuck, I should hide behind something and listen to whatever this crazy ass conversation she's having is.
Oh man. Um gosh. Like I don't know, the older Lady Bo up the road likes me. All the adults like me. They think that I'm really cool and mature or whatever. I'm very nice around them. And the little kids like me, but you can't just hang out with a bunch of little kids all the time. um, I love that I'm just like making up responses to another half of a conversation nobody can hear. Um,
Mhm. That's good. I like it.
um, I mean, yeah, I know. Look, it's fine. Everybody just thinks that I'm weird and I talk to myself all the time.
Yeah, you could just stop talking to yourself all the time. That's an easy problem to solve.
Uh, the sound of a trash can. Um, Melody like hitting a trash can and like looking around.
Rafik standing up, making himself known.
following me?
I'm not. Why are you following me?
Well, why would I want to follow you around?
I mean, I don't know. That's why I asked. But clearly, you're doing it. I
I
saw you in the
asked you
market earlier, and
first.
now you're here.
What?
You're here in my alley where I go to hang out.
Is your name on this alley? I don't see it
Yes.
anywhere.
And he points to like a spot on the wall where he like carved his name into it when he was like 6 or 7 or something.
Um,
And
you,
there's like little height markings there also of like how he's grown.
um, you know, that won't stop me because I can't read.
Rashad, or not Rashad. Well, that is his last name. Rafik crosses his arms and he's like, why does that not surprise me?
Wow, don't be a dickhead. Do you want me to tell your little sister that you're a big dickhead?
Why would you say that? Why would you say that to a child? No, obviously not. That's like a really weird thing to say to like a 6-year-old. Jeez, I knew you were weird, but I didn't think you were a dick.
Well, me? You're the one who's yelling at me from a rooftop because I'm like skateboarding.
I'm not yelling at you for skateboarding. And I'm not even yelling at you. I'm speaking slightly above my normal volume. I'm saying if your
Which is
issue is that
basically
people think
yelling.
you're weird because you talk to yourself, you could just not talk to yourself.
Well, maybe people should stop being so judgmental of others who are talking to themselves.
I mean, possibly yes, but I don't think you're going to change the world like that. I think it's probably easier than like altering the entire nature of how people perceive other people. It's probably easier if you just don't talk to yourself.
Yeah, well, I bet you don't have any friends either.
I think he kind of like looks away in that like, I'm not hurt, but he's clearly hurt. And, like leans up against the wall and he's like, I don't need friends.
um. Oh man. Yeah, well, me neither. Also leans up against the wall.
They're just mirroring. They're both pretending not to have their feelings hurt.
Yeah. Like Melody's like cap is probably on the ground or something, and also she's got like a scraped knee now from fucking beefing it.
I like the idea that they kind of like both stay that way posing for like a couple minutes and neither of them say anything. And then eventually Rafik is just like, well, I actually do have to get back home.
Oh. What were you even doing out here?
And I think he like looks up and points to a constellation.
I
And
think she looks up too.
I don't know dick about constellations, but I like to think that he like explains some kind of like folk story that's associated with a particular constellation that's in the sky that night. And he's like, I knew it'd be a nice night to see it because it's clear, so
I don't see it.
I think he like stands closer to her and kind of like directs her head a little bit so
Like
that she can see,
comes
like, where
down
he's
from the
pointing.
roof just to grab her head and make her look at it.
Oh no, I imagine they were like on the same. Well, okay, maybe it's not like on the roof. Maybe he was like on a like fire escape or something. But yeah,
Oh, okay.
something that's just like, oh, okay, you know that thing you do when you're trying to like point something out to somebody they can't see. You just kind of like put your finger closer to their head and be like, follow the line of my finger. Like that's what
I
he's
have
doing.
I have an idea of what constellation it is.
Oh yeah, tell me.
I think it's the Raven, and I think it used to be obscured by the Sky City until it fell.
Ooh, that's very
Ooh.
cool.
Oh my gosh.
Just making a Jesper connection.
Fun.
Love it.
But yeah, he points to that and like tells her about like whatever stories are associated with it. Like it probably used to be. There's probably a story of how it was an actual raven, and then something happened, pissed a god off. Now it's stuck in the stars, that kind of thing.
Huh. Jeez, Iki, you're kind of a nerd.
He like slugs you in the arm, but not actually hard. It's like a playful like jab.
She like shoves Okay, well, I don't know where this place is, and I've never been here before in my life, and I didn't see you, and we're not friends.
I didn't see you either. We didn't have this conversation. Bye.
Bye. Say hi to your sister for me.
Okay, I will. Genuine. Okay, I will.
So I have a suggestion for an action for this. If you'd like to hear my thought, uh, harmony or melody. I
Oh,
keep saying
yes.
the word harmony.
Whichever one.
The giant word harmony keeps throwing me off. This sounds like a confess.
Ooh, yes.
Oh, okay.
Like confess is kind of like making yourself vulnerable to someone else.
I like that. I'm also bad at it.
Yeah, I know. When you confess, you expose the inner world of your thoughts and feelings to another.
All right. Hey, Rafik.
But yeah,
Rafik, did you enjoy? Did you enjoy hanging out? Did you
Oh,
enjoy?
definitely. I think he absolutely enjoyed that.
Aw! Friendship!
all right. So 1D fortune roll.
Okay. One whole D. I keep trying to type it in the chat and then realizing that I don't need to do that.
All right. So you get 2 links with melody, Rafik.
Wig.
Okay, so here's a conundrum. It's 8 p.m. in normal. I can't remember if we're normally ending close to this time, um, which feels a shame because we're about to actually get started with what's going on. Um, how do y'all feel going for another hour or so, and then we'll just call it there?
I'm good with it.
How about you, Lo?
I will try my absolute best.
Okay, we'll aim for we'll see how far we get. And then is that good for you, Daisy?
Yeah, I don't have to sleep until I don't have to go to my room and lay down until 11.
Okay. So I think that what the last bit of information as you know stuff about the darkness kind of becomes made clear is um I think Melody, you see um I think you see a gang of like a small gang of folk, and there's like something off about them, and it's a bad vibe that I think you've gotten with like people that Rivet has worked with before. Um, like there's just a vibe, a bad vibe that like Melody and Harmony, I think especially can like um kind of sense that like when dealing with Rivet's goons. Um, and they're out in force. They're not in force. There's like 4 of them.
Mhm.
Um, but what you see is that they have like some equipment with them, and they're going to like I think this building that has collapsed in the past, and they have like a little device with them that is like beeping as they're pointing it ahead of them. It's like beep 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 beep, like a Geiger counter almost. Um, and they get to this point where it just starts going off, um, and this one guy just kind of pockets the device and is like puts or maybe puts it like in a belt loop. You know, I guess some dads have for their phones,
Yeah.
and is like, all right, flush him. And I think turns like puts a little like weird little device down. It's like a little Vanderwall generator or whatever. Um, not Vanderwall. I can't remember what they're called. Van de Graaff, little Van de Graaff generator, like a little like cone with a big orb on it, and like the air, like you smell like ozone in the air, and I think Harmony gets like really just uncomfortable, and then like they conjure a ghost basically, that was hiding, and they work together, and with their tools they capture it, and they put this ghost in a little ghost bottle, and they pulls out the thing and it's like it's like all right, let's keep going. And I think you see them like open a case, and there's like That's like the first of like a dozen ghosts that they're going to go hunt for tonight.
That's icky.
So they have been, so it's kind of like that information for you. Uh, they have been stealing corpses, and now you've seen that they're stealing ghosts.
Hmm.
Oh, jeez. I know what's going on maybe a little bit, which sucks.
So, um, now we're going to work on the mission and the engagement. Um, so I think we probably need to role play like getting the group together or like getting circumstances to align properly. Um, so it's nightfall. You're pretty close to Icky's house, and I don't think you're too far away from Juniper and the kids too, if they're still because they generally tend to stay on the surface for a while.
Yeah, it's a long journey.
Yeah, and they might be staying at the boarding house, or they might have another. They probably are staying at the boarding house because they're probably staying with Emerald.
Mhm.
Um, so Melody, you know that there's great villainy afoot with Rivet, but like this looks maybe a bit out of your element because they have the main thing you normally work with and do your cool stuff with is maybe not suited for this job at the moment.
Um Scary. Part of me wants this to almost be like t- after they've gone, like turns around and just goes chasing after Rafik. Like, hold on, I'm not scared of anything, but you shouldn't be walking alone at night.
Is that to Rafik?
Yeah.
Which is funny because like Rafik's like probably like right about to go back into the inside of his house, like walk through the front door.
um You know what would be way cooler than you telling your sister that I said hi? It'd be way cooler if I said hi to your sister.
Rafik narrows eyes. What do you really want?
Pikachu face. um okay. Uh um they're just some weird guys, you know? It's scary out here. You shouldn't be by yourself. Uh
I should be by myself, or you don't want to be by yourself.
I'm fine.
Hands on hips, head tilted.
I lived underground my whole life. I'm used to the dark. It's fine.
Oh, so it's the dark that you're scared of.
I'm not scared of the dark. It's like super bright out.
Hmm.
Look, there's a moon and everything. Is there a moon actually? Hold on.
I think actually the moon is like it's a new moon tonight.
Okay. Um, there are stars. You don't have stars in caves, okay? Um, so I'm not scared of the dark.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. I'm not
That
scared of the dark. There are just some. There aren't. I saw some guys do some weird stuff.
what kind of guys and what kind of weird stuff?
I don't know. Some guys. Some ugly, weird guys with bad vibes. Just atrocious vibes.
I mean, did they seem like they were from, I don't know, any particular like organization or group, or what is the bad vibe? Get more specific with me.
Mm. Um, like it pulls up hood, defensively, um, hood over cap, and just like kind of glances around a little bit, and it's just like very quietly, okay. So, mm, you can't tell anybody about this. If you tell anybody about this, I will find you and be very angry. I know where you live now.
Rafik nods and shrugs.
Okay. Okay. Conspiratorial, like little get a little closer.
Hmm.
Um. Okay. So, do you know about ghosts, right?
Yeah, like the existence of ghosts, I'm aware.
Okay. So what if I told you that there were people who were finding ghosts and taking them in like suitcases?
I I mean that definitely sounds bad.
Okay, well, there are guys who are out here doing weird stuff with ghosts, and that's bad.
Yeah, that is really bad. Hmm.
Anyway, I'm gonna say hi to your sister.
Uh wait. I think with it I feel like this would be a good time to like get Juniper involved because I think maybe Rafik's first thought would be like, "Oh, somebody in the Green Thumb gang who like has, some knowledge of underworld activity might know what's going on."
Mhm.
Does that sound like a good
Yeah, that seems
idea?
yeah, that seems really good. A good like way to get Junie involved.
Yeah. In that case, I think maybe Rafik stops Melody from going inside and he's like, wait, we need to go talk to Juniper about this. If you think you saw somebody doing this, she might know who they are, and we can actually take care of this problem instead of just leaving it for other people to take care of.
Oh, if we go talk to Juniper, then I'm never gonna be allowed to leave the boarding house again.
Wait, why?
Because I'm a little weirdo.
I mean, granted, but like she's not your mommy. Like she can't stop you.
Oh man. Oh boy. Um. Yeah, you're
Look
right.
at it.
Actually, I could probably beat Juniper up.
Okay, that's not what I was saying. But anyways, look at it this way. Okay, if your issue is that Juniper doesn't see you enough as a mature figure, maybe doing something proactive about this problem you've just observed would prove to her that you can handle yourself. And that you're not just a wuss.
I'm not a wuss.
You seem giving off big wuss vibes right now, gonna be honest.
You don't know anything about me.
Shrugs. I don't need to. I can tell you're a wuss.
Well, shoves him and skateboards away.
Runs after her to convince her to like because I think he is genuinely afraid for her safety if she's just out there. I think he's gonna like grab her and try to be like, okay, no, seriously, we should probably go talk to Juniper and like you're
I
the
was I
only.
was going.
Okay, then we're headed off in that direction.
You don't have to hold my hand the whole time. Jeez.
Ew, I'm not gonna hold your hand. They just argue all the way there.
Oh my gosh.
So what's Juniper doing at this point? I think Lettuce and Vomit are just like I think Lettuce is tinkering with some stuff, and I think Vomit is drawing.
I think Juniper is with Emerald in her greenhouse, looking at all the plants and helping like water and like trim them.
Mm-hmm. I think Emerald is very quiet, probably doesn't talk a lot. Um, but I think Emerald is like maybe Juniper's age is one of the older kids is probably one of the reasons she's able to like stay out here by herself. Um, Now my question is for the other two, does Juniper hear them coming from a mile away, literally. Or are
Oh,
they
that is.
actually a little quieter about their argument?
I was hoping. I like the image that we were initially being quiet and like arguing in hushed tones. We just got louder as we got closer because we're not paying attention to how much noise we're making anymore. How does that feel, Daisy?
I like the idea that like it's gone in like waves, you know? Like
Hmm.
it's fine for a hot minute. And things are chill, and then it's like, wait, we're supposed to not like each other actually.
Yeah, like they remember. Yes.
Like it's chill, but also we're like mildly concerned about each other vibes, and then it stops being chill as we realize that we're like not angry at each other.
Hmm.
Back and forth like that.
Yeah. But do you think Juniper would hear us approaching?
Maybe.
Hmm.
Yes. I
Hmm.
think like when they get to the door, they fight over who's supposed to go in first.
Yes, very much.
Melody's just like, you don't even live here. It'd be weird if you went in.
You don't live here either.
Well, yes, I do.
Oh shit, you actually do. Well then, yeah. Why don't go in? Why are we arguing about this?
I don't know. You started it. Opens
I.
the door.
Yeah.
Juniper waiting for them?
Yeah, I mean, I think he hears them and is like, "What the fuck?" Like, just staring expectantly at the door.
Oh my gosh. Like Juniper is just right there, and so like Melody is just like, oh, uh, see, I
Is
told
this
you I have
your friend
friends.
that lives in the sky? Yeah, is this the one that lives in Sky City?
You're very funny.
I try.
Rafik narrows eyes at Melody. Cat face.
Juniper, this is Rafik.
Hey, Rafik, I heard that you were Melody's best friend. Is that true?
No.
It's totally true. Ask his little sister. I'm his best friend.
I think Rafik kind of like pushes his way past Melody and like offers like a very professional hand for Juniper to shake, and he's like, I'm Rafik. I don't. We're not actually friends."
Juniper's like super amused, takes his hand, and like shakes it firmly.
Um, Melody just like chuffs, I guess, in the background. That's the only verb that comes to mind. Um, well,
Did it
whatever.
bother you? You go ahead.
Oh, well, whatever. Doesn't matter. We have to have a super secret meeting right now.
Oh, cool. All right, let's go.
Um,
Kind of shoots a glance at Emerald to like keep an eye on the goblin children.
where would we have a super
No,
secret meeting?
She nods, digs out the cough syrup.
Don't drug them.
The Ilitharn Benadryl.
The Z-Quill. Um, gosh. Shoot. There has
Vague
Melody has
disapproving look.
Melody has to have like hidey places.
I
She
think
have
she
like
has
a
a Hey
secret attic.
Arnold room.
Yeah.
She has a Hey Arnold room.
Hmm.
Oh my
She has the
gosh.
coolest room in the boarding house. She's the only kid. So they gave her the most kid-ass boarding room.
um.
Or like I think they had to repair it, but like Melody just had like all these cool ideas, and so like it was like all these broken things that just kind of kept as features
Oh my
as
gosh.
when they fixed it up when she moved in with Grant.
Oh. Okay. I like it. Um. Like.
I like the idea there's like a trap door that goes down to Grant's apartment, which is underneath hers.
Oh.
Is Grant sleeping at this time? Are we like sneaking past him while he's sleeping?
He's a heavy sleeper.
Hmm.
Yeah.
He has to be for like if Melody is his charge.
True. Yeah. Yeah.
Like everybody else like tries to be quiet, and Melody's just like fucking going in her little in her sneakers or whatever, and pulls down this rickety ass like what's it called, uh
Ladder.
ladder, and is like, come on, and like goes while everybody else is trying to be considerate. Um, I don't think it's as big as Arnold's room. It's probably a lot smaller because there's also like roof stuff. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah. Um,
Well, Arnold's room's pretty small, honestly.
Arnold's room is big to me. Hold on. Arnold's room. Hey Arnold.
Hey Arnold, square footage.
No, it's like a pretty sizable room. Like there's stuff in it. It's a pretty sizable room. Here.
Yeah, I don't think
It's
it's like
only about as wide as a twin mattress, I think is the thing.
Yeah,
It's
I
kind of
guess that's
long, but
fair.
I don't think it's very wide.
That's fair. That's fair.
That
Okay.
was
still the coolest
the
fucking
coolest.
bedroom
That was the
ever.
coolest fucking. I was gonna say that was the coolest fucking room when I was like 12.
Ugh. Everybody
That's
wanted
the
to.
coolest fucking room, and I'm 32.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the coolest fucking room,
seriously.
period.
Like the
Um,
big skylight up top rules.
could you imagine sleeping in there while it's raining?
Ugh,
That
that's all
would
I
make
want.
me lose my mind in such a good way.
Literally, I would sleep so good. But also like you'd have to wake up at the break of dawn, so pros and cons. It would get very
I like it
bright.
when I could be a morning person, if I'm being honest. But it would get really hot.
Yeah. Anyway, it's fine. Um, I don't imagine that it has the big skylight, but I like to think that there was like a hole that became like kind of a skylight.
Mhm.
So it it's fine.
His
Anyway,
remote controlled couch is a lot.
it's so good. Um, but yeah, th- I guess we're like, this is my room. Awkwardly, gestures.
Are there
Uh,
any like super embarrassing, like very childish aspects to it?
I mean,
Does she have stuffed animals?
I don't think Melody has a lot of things. Is the thing.
Hmm.
Or like a lot of things. Like I don't think Melody brought a lot of things other than like the kiku and like the otter kiku or whatever, and the
Mhm.
skateboard and some clothes. I think everything else probably came from people at the boarding house or like doing running favors or things. You know, they were Melody. I don't think had a lot of things before Grant, and I don't know how much stuff like she got from Grant when they were living underground because like it was only a year or two before they ended up coming up here, right?
Yeah.
Jay? Yeah. So I don't think Melody
He,
historically has a lot of things.
I think he tried, but like it had been a long time and like he just wasn't super wealthy.
Yeah.
She had a lot of stuff from when he went to butcher conventions.
Like there's just a fucking knife.
It's like vintage butcher convention stuff, like cartoon like anatomies of like dinosaurs and stuff like that.
That's kind of sick actually. I do like I do like the idea that Melody has two plushies.
Yeah.
I like one of them could be like a convention swag that's like a bisected dinosaur where it shows all the cuts of meat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um
As a plush doll is very funny.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Like it's like Melody's one of her dolls is like just like, oh yeah, it's just the muscle and bone of a fucking dinosaur. Like, oh, that's creepy as shit.
it's fine. That's normal. Um like a pillow that looks like a cut of meat. Anyway, I think also there are like there was an attempt to have plants and their dead wilted selves are still like sitting there somewhere.
An Adam's Family ass thing, like, oh yeah, the dead plants have charm to them. These like desiccated succulents.
More like Melody didn't know how to take care of a plant and then didn't want to go and bother Emerald about it because she didn't want to admit that she doesn't know how to take care of plants in front of the plant person. You know? Anyway, it's a cool room. I think she's like um trying really hard not to fiddle with her locket, but then like is rubbing her locket a little bit. Um and is like clearly kind of actually anxious about everybody being in her room. It's fine. Anyway, sits on bed, kicks out legs, realizes that she shouldn't take her shoes off because they're gonna probably leave immediately. Um, there are guys who are taking ghosts from places, and it's really bad, and gave me really bad vibes. And then I told Rafik about it, and he was like, "Well, we should go tell Juniper because obviously we can do something about it." And I was like, and then we came here.
Wanted to hide in my house and not do anything. I had to drag you kicking and screaming
You
to do
didn't
something
drag me
about it.
anywhere. I beat you here. In fact, actually, you stopped me from coming here for a whole 5 seconds. You
Anyway, Juniper, do you know about anything involving, I don't know, some weird cult of people stealing ghosts?
I have not recently heard of any ghost stealing cults, or any cult for that matter.
okay? People stealing ghosts isn't the same thing as a cult.
It's not necessarily not the same thing as a cult.
Okay, well,
Organization, group, whatever you want to call it.
I just want to call it some guys.
Okay, fine. Some guys. But you haven't heard of any kind of guys stealing ghosts or anything recently.
No, not recently or anything like that. I feel like that's something I would have heard about if it was going around, I guess. So maybe it's like fairly new thing happening. A fucked up new thing, but
Melody, do you think you could lead us to where you saw them abducting the ghost?
I mean, I could have. Uh, well, I probably still can. Never mind. Would have been faster. It was just us, but okay. Um, gets back up. Um,
I think that you hear a voice in your head that's like, that was mean. You need to apologize to Juniper.
okay.
hey, what? Sorry, I totally missed that. I was replying to a text.
Oh, it's
I
okay.
apologize.
It's okay. Melody was getting talked at. Um,
Oh,
I'm sorry, Juniper, for being
huh?
mean.
Oh, you weren't mean. You're just, I think, 13. I was not. I mean, I didn't like people, telling me what to do when I was 13. You're fine, kid.
Um, Melody, just making a face like, "Who told you I was 13?"
Just like Pikachu face, like,
Um. Okay, let's go.
okay. So I think this is actually a good time to talk about the engagement role. The engagement role lets us cut straight to the action, the heart of whatever is interesting about a given mission. The one role will let us know how things are going and elides all the tedious. I think it's eludes is what that's supposed to be, and eludes all the tedious setup, planning, and lead in. There are a number of factors to consider for the engagement role. The crew gets 1D for hope. and modifies that starting pool based on the following factors. Um, it's funny. I don't think you get 1D for hope in the Madoka playset, which is very funny.
Oh, that is pretty.
Very edgy. Very edgy. Um, so the mission that y'all will be doing is Fate's a creature of darkness. Confront a manifestation of the darkness. It's a level 1 mission. So let's look at the engagement roll. I'm building this up from the list. Is the mission particularly heroic or noble? Take plus 1D. Does the mission's goal or methods reflect the darkness inside our characters? Take minus 1D. And so basically the plan is to kind of follow them and find them and stop them, I guess, to simplify it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is
Get
the
the
mission
ghosts
following
back.
through on details from the crew's investigation? Is the darkness well-defined here particularly strong against this? So I do think, I'll give you the plus 1D for following up on the investigation. You've been given the information. That's okay. Does this mission determine the fate of a friend? Take plus 1D. Does this connect to your mundane life, or is there something holding you back? Take minus 1D. Does the mission's tier exceed the current tier of the investigation track? Take minus 1D per tier below. No, it doesn't. Are there any other elements that you want to consider? So I am fine. So I do think that does this connect to your mundane life, or is there something holding you back? Um, hmm. I think I'll keep it at 2 for now. So we have 2 dice for the engagement roll. Does anyone want to roll for me? Oh, you have not rolled very many dice tonight, I think.
Oh yeah, make Low do it.
Rolls have been bad so far.
Well, so's Daisy. It's
That
fine.
means they'll be good now.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it works.
Can
Yeah,
only
Yeah.
hope. What am I?
A fortune roll
2.
with 2 dice. Perfect.
Beautiful.
Starting off in a desperate position.
You know,
Always.
that makes sense.
Uh-huh.
See, I told you. You shouldn't have let me roll.
No, this is great. This is exciting.
Yeah.
So
This is a one shot.
So I think we cut to the action, and it's like, yeah, let's go, and y'all have been caught.
Mhm.
Um,
It's like a slide transition.
yeah,
Been tied up or something.
yeah. And you're in a gang, like you're like in this like group, like you've caught up, but they basically were able to like just find you. Either like, I don't know. I think what tripped them off is that they bring them to like this larger group. There's actually quite a few people operating out tonight. It's not just this one group. And this guy's like, yeah, one of these kids is haunted, and holds up the little Geiger counter. It's going wild and he points it at Melody. And it's like ding 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 ding. So it's a free ghost, and these other kids were witnesses. So it's like just nods. And I think that there is another group of guys coming together, and they're coming to like this like hideout that I think they made sure you couldn't see where they were going, or maybe not. They're not that competent, I think, because they may not know what they're doing with you yet. And um there it looks like there's a ritual that's getting started, and like there's like this big like teams are coming in with like all the ghosts and stuff they've collected. And then you also see that they've collected a bunch of their corpses in here as well that have been missing.
I
Um,
know what's going on. I hate
uh-huh. And there's a little there's a little TV. Um, and you've just got such bad vibes about all the people in here. The ghosts, they give you bad vibes, but in a like, they're restless spirits that are kind of like scared way.
it. Mm-hmm.
I think even though Khalila's very in tune with ghosts, I think Melody might have like a much more personal relationship with ghosts.
Oh yeah.
Like she's just attuned to their personhood a lot more than Khalila is.
Yeah. I think that this is like Melody's worst nightmare actually come to life. The
Um,
the worst possible thing to ever happen ever possibly in her head.
Well, it's Happy Halloween, I guess. Um, and there's this last group that's coming in, and I think there's like some small talk and chatter, and I think you overhear one of them say, I think all of you overhear them talking, and it's like, when's Zaid gonna get here? And Rafik, that is a little concerning because that's the name of your older brother.
Oh fuck.
Um, and this is an interesting time to think about this as this action's mounting. So as a like I imagined, since you are a magical child, like you're a magical girl, Rafik, you're a mage, you're a magician.
Mhm.
What kind of magic does Rafik do you think?
I really like the idea of his magical focus being on like healing in some way.
Ooh,
Oh,
okay.
Um, I like the idea that healing with magic is in a way taking on pain for yourself to remove it from other people.
Hmm.
And I think that's something that he kind of learned to do intuitively just from like taking care of other people.
Hmm.
I don't know. That's just my initial thoughts. I don't know if you wanted me to think more about it mechanically, but
I like that. I like the idea of what if it's like I'm leaning into some other aesthetics here, but what if it's like pulled in from like the constellations and stars and stuff? Like that is practical knowledge for you because like
yes.
you can like what if it's actually like constellation magic? Like you can invoke a constellation and a lot of those are healing.
Oh, that's
Or like
very
your
sexy.
or like your favorite one is like healing. Um
Yes.
but like
okay.
you're also limited because you need like to see the constellation or be aware of the position in the sky. So like your magic's seasonal, which is also really cool to think about.
Yes, I like that very much.
I
Um
like this a lot.
I think that there are like offensive constellation magics, but I think it's based on like the stories that he knows and the ones that he cares about the most, and the ones he likes
mhm.
the most just happen to be healing.
Yeah, the ones that he's like best at, but he might know a couple of them, especially like for like really bad situations. If he like, there's like a big like a Deinonychus wanders in, to the city. Like you need to be able to defend yourself or your family.
Hmm.
So I love the idea if he has a seasonal like a seasonal healing spell and a seasonal defense spell,
Hmm.
and like those are different. Maybe like in the summer, like the Raven is like grants you shadow and like stealth.
Yes.
Um, or like is like lets you beguile and like reject authority. Um, lets you speak freely without repercussion or whatever,
Hmm.
like a jester.
Hmm.
Um, I love anyway. This is a really cool magic that also has a shit ton of world building implications. Um, so yeah, that's the name that I don't think the one name you were hoping you didn't hear.
Hmm.
Um, and I think eventually a very familiar face walks in with the rest of the group, and they've got a bunch of ghosts in tow. And there's this like radio monitor. I think it's like experimental technology. I think it is like a television set of some kind, but I think it's Magitech.
Hmm.
Um, I don't think it's like literally just like radio and waves and stuff like that. There's like some I like crystal bullshit. Like there's like some module or something. Like it's kind of a big clunky machine. But it's like a really low quality like CRT kind of setup, and a face familiar to us as players appears on the screen, and it is the face of Rivet, the Dark Tinkerer. And Rivet looks as menacing and robotic as ever with that poor, like disembodied, like brain kind of floating in the goo on top of his head. Um, and Rivet is just like it's like coming through really crackly and stuff like that. And Rivet is like, Saeed, did you get all of the how are preparations going for tonight? And Zaid is like, yes, sir, we've got everything. We should have enough to try out the experiment tonight. Very good, very good. And kind of pulls up like a big list and it's like, all right, and starts like giving them instructions to like take this corpse and first, like, they're setting up things, and yeah, so they're getting this experiment set up. And I think that once I'll let y'all know when you get to act, because I think that's when that's going to mark the desperate position you're in.
Mhm.
Um, and I think someone mentions that they found some stragglers, and I think Zaid looks in your direction and doesn't acknowledge you. Like
Mhm.
like the glance lingers for a bit, but doesn't say anything. So it's like kind of a poker face playing it cool. Um, but I don't think anyone else picks up on the that interaction. And so they begin to do their kind of experimental thing. And the first thing they do is they release a ghost into like a Faraday cage that's got like some like power running through it so that the ghost can't escape. And it's like I think this ghost is like very concerned at the moment, and it's like it looks just like a sheet ghost. Like it's just a very ill-defined form. Or no, maybe it does look like a person, but like maybe they have like the wispy the bottom half
Yeah.
and kind of a defined top half. And they like throw a switch and they destroy this ghost. Um, and it screams, it's very upsetting, and it just turns into like ectoplasmic goo. And they collect all of the goo that's left behind. Um, and they find a corpse and they administer the ectoplasm to the corpse.
Oh.
Lowe's mic's going, but I haven't heard anything.
What?
Your mic was going, and I wasn't sure if you were saying anything.
Oh, no, I think it's just because I was moving.
Okay, gotcha. Um, and they begin to do this ritual. Like it's less of a ritual and more of like it's like technical, but it still has like the vibe. Like Khalila would probably identify. Oh, there's like a ritual going on here.
Yeah.
Um, and uh, Rivet is kind of talking him through, and then once things complete, you hear like this low moan that
Mm.
like as air exits these or enters and exits the lungs of this like corpse. And Rivet says, "Gentlemen, meet a new form of undeath." And as it rises, you three are the first to see the first zombie.
Mm, great.
Nice, nice, nice.
Nice, nice, nice.
Um,
This will be fine.
We're on
It's
some
fine.
reanimator shit.
and stage two of the operation. And they find like I think there's a now that we have our first specimen, we must find a live sample to feed. That is the next step of the experiment. And I think someone pipes up and is like, "We just found a bunch of nosy kids. Actually, one of them's even hunted." Perfect, perfect. Feed one of them to it. And I think that's where the action starts. As I think particularly with Zaid, um, and I think you might sense something as off about Zaid too. Like I think specifically Melody, there is like I think almost like a darkness that literally like Zaid is almost like has like a shadow that like is like constantly around him, like an umbra.
Okay, so hey Jay, I've got an important question.
Yeah,
I have an important question that I don't think I could even in good faith ask as Khalila, but I think I can absolutely in good faith ask as Melody.
sure.
Is this guy a vampire?
Who?
Zaid.
No.
Okay, cool.
We're so
Thanks.
edgy about vampires now.
Well, no. I like the main reason why I ask is because when we first came in here, the first thing that I thought was, oh, they're trying to mass produce vampires.
Hmm.
No, they're trying to make lesser undead, just some mindless little zombie
We're
guys.
the goofy kids. We're not dealing with the big bad vampires.
Well, I don't know.
This is the Scooby Doo episode.
Zaid would hypothetically be like the recurring antagonist of this anime, one of the recurring antagonists of the anime, probably in a very sad
So
way.
the zombie is a magical threat. So while you are mundane, it is going to be difficult to deal with. Um, I'm only giving it a 4 o'clock. It's bad. It's scary. What are you doing? I think that they are coming to get probably either Rafik or Juniper to feed to this thing.
Um. Oh God. Okay. What action would it be rolled?
What do you want to do? And we'll figure it from there.
I want Rafik to, in some way, make it so that he's the first one who's going to take whatever hit comes. I don't know exactly what that looks like, but
If I think you can just intercede,
I,
like if you think it's like something that Rafik needs to actively do, I think you can just kind of like, yeah, like if you want to try and like piss him off or something.
yeah, I think he's trying to like put himself in harm's way by getting this thing's attention first.
Okay, so in particular, the zombie or the people that are going to try and grab one of you.
I guess the people who are going to try and grab me, I
Yeah.
guess he would, in some way, try and make himself seem like the best target to go first. I don't know if that would be maybe like a beguiling type thing.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. Also, I mean, it's just like, you're making an ass of yourself. Yeah, so like the actions are a little weird to think about. So let's see. I think express is the role here. When
Hmm.
you express, you use words with an agenda in mind.
Mm-hmm.
You might teach someone a valuable lesson about friendship. You might convince an agent of darkness to work with you for a time. Confess might be, but though confess might be more appropriate.
Yeah, that sounds like an express.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so it's a desperate standard because this is a mundane person. You're not using any magic or anything. You're not transcended. You have 1D. Would you like to push yourself or spend a social link? Or would you like to hear a dark bargain?
I think I'm going to spend one of my social links.
Okay, so go ahead and mark one of your social links,
Mm-hmm.
and that'll give you plus 1D.
Plus 1D. Okay. Oh, wait, why didn't it not... I added plus 1D, but it didn't give me one.
Oh,
I only get the one in the dice roll. Or
it's
does it
because
add them together?
You have
it's
to add them together because it's
yeah.
going to roll 0 by default. There's no character sheet associated with it.
Okay, so I'll just roll again.
Yeah, roll another one. And go ahead and mark XP and Sun. Okay, so mixed success. You do it, but there's a consequence. You suffer severe harm. A severe complication occurs. Um, you have reduced effect. Um, I think that's everything. You suffer severe harm. A complication occurs. You suffer reduced effect. Yeah, because you're already in a desperate position.
Mm-hmm.
And your goal is to basically, so standard effect. I think like you succeed. They are definitely only going to pull you out. They're going to pull you out first. Um, so they do, but I think there's a consequence here. Um, and I think this guy's really mean, and I think he punches you really hard in like the gut or like diaphragm.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna. This is a temporary harm. It'll be once you get your wind, you'll be recover. But you're gonna take a temporary level 3 harm. Extremely winded.
Hmm.
That is your consequence here.
Okay. I'm not gonna try and resist that. I'm
Okay.
fine with that. Yeah.
Okay. So you take So go ahead and mark that level 3 harm.
Mm-hmm.
Um, excellent. Okay. So they've pulled Rafik out and like they actually like punched him in the gut really hard and he's having trouble breathing and they're just gonna throw him into like this like arena.
with a zombie.
Uh, yeah. So my question for you, Rafik, is either like what's your follow-up action? Like what's your plan, or are Juniper and Melody doing anything here?
would like to intercede.
Okay, how do you want to intercede?
So it was just like a dude who grabbed Rafik, right?
Yeah.
Can I try to empathize with them?
So okay, so he punches Rafik in the gut. So this is if you want to empathize, it's probably gonna be after he's punched Rafik in the gut and is pulling him out.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not, I don't want to so much empathize as,
Are you trying to like what do you
mm,
want to have happen? Think about that before the action.
yeah, really I think what I want to do is like try to like stop him and like talk him out of, or maybe just distract him at the very least by like talking to
So
him and saying like,
it sounds like you're resisting this consequence for um
uh,
because you're if you want this to not happen, you're resisting the consequence. You're protecting Rafik.
yeah.
Maybe like Rafik is riling this guy up by just calling him names, and Juniper is like, don't listen to him. He's a fucking idiot. He doesn't know what he's saying."
So let's see,
Yeah,
resisting, you resist with sun for consequences from violence and fear. You resist with moon for consequences from despair and heartbreak. And you resist with stars for consequences from panic and social pressure.
yeah,
So
I
like
mean,
if you
I
want
think it,
to
I was gonna say, I think it would be in character for Juniper
yeah,
to
that
try
makes
to
sense.
protect.
Um I just realized we made a mistake on your character. You actually we're not going to go back and give you an extra social link, but you do get an extra downtime activity as the unlikely hero, and you actually get an extra D on your when you roll social link.
Well, I don't have any social links.
Yeah, but no, but when you would have rolled when you gave it to Melody.
Oh, I
So
see.
go ahead and roll me an extra D.
Okay.
Okay, it didn't kill
Jesus.
us. Good time to get it out. Just get it out. Um, yeah, so it sounds like you're wanting to intercede to protect. And I think like the harm that Rafik suffered was, getting the crap beat out of him. So I think that makes sense. It's son.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, buddy.
Oh boy. Okay,
I
so
am
let's take a
having a
look at this.
time.
Yeah, I know. Um, when only you can save one of your friends from fatal harm or severe consequence, and you do it, you may lose this move and take Hero's Destiny. So you haven't unlocked your magical potential yet, I don't think, because this was not a fatal harm or anything. Okay, so we have. I need to look up some rules for Eclipse.
Oh, like immediately.
So
Oh,
go ahead and
This is
mark this
very
Oh
on.
first.
my god.
This was extremely on brand for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, Junie.
Even the heroic protagonists have a dark side. When you fall into Eclipse, that the dark side takes over. Your Eclipse prompt describes the dark mindset that takes hold of your character while they are in Eclipse. Each playbook has a unique prompt. It also includes an escape clause, which you will need to satisfy in order to return to normal. When you reach or exceed your stress limit, you roll for Eclipse using your lowest attribute, detailed below. When you fall into Eclipse, read the prompt out loud, including the exit clause. This will help everyone at the table to understand the sudden shift in behavior and remind them of how they can help your character escape Eclipse. Being Eclipse does not mean your character turns on their friends, though it may push you to fatalistic choices or reckless behavior. You're still in control of your character's choices and actions. Embodying your Eclipse prompt earns you XP at the end of a session, and you may choose to do this regardless if your character is in Eclipse or not. When not in Eclipse, you can hint at your character's dark side. Save the more overt expressions of this inner darkness for when your character's in Eclipse. If the result is a 6, you hold at the edge of darkness. On a 4 to 5, another member of the crew can push themselves to keep you from succumbing to your inner darkness. If not, treat it as a 1 to 3 result and you are in Eclipse. On a 1 to 3, you are in Eclipse. If a crit is rolled, you erase 1 spent segment of your Transcendence clock and recover 5 stress. So, okay. So, yeah, like if you roll a crit here, which you can't do, I think, with just the one thing. Um, there's a benefit. So you will roll sun, and on a 6, you hover at eclipse. At a 4 or so, go ahead and roll resistance of sun with 1d. Okay.
Um,
So anyone that has a social link with Juniper has the opportunity to spend one to keep her from falling into eclipse.
I will.
Okay. Go ahead and mark that. Um, so you resist the consequence. So you take the harm instead. Does Juniper like actually like tackle the guy and the guy tries to fight? And like Juniper is just able to kind of like handle herself as she gets pulled out instead?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so you're like getting pulled out and fighting, and I think as you like leave the like little cell you're in or whatever, I think there's like I think that stress make you visualize from like there's just like this existential dread that just like your skin begins to crawl. This thing in front of you is terrifying. And like in a way like I think you've been around vampires unwittingly maybe, and you've never felt this way, but this just like emanates like a foul, upsetting presence. And this guy's dragging you over to like just toss you into this like little pit where this thing is basically. So, um, what are y'all doing now?
um,
So to be clear,
angry crying.
I am now in the pit, but I'm not winded. Is that
No,
what
you're not in the
happened?
pit at all. That
Oh,
didn't
okay.
you just resisted the consequence. Juniper's being pulled in your stead.
Oh, that was not the thing I wanted to happen. Fuck. Oh, okay. Hmm.
Okay.
So Juniper's being pulled out. Melody and Melody, what are you doing?
Um. Okay. Um. This is the worst nightmare ever. Um. What am I doing? See, this is why she didn't want to do this. Okay, look, it's fine.
The little Rafik that lives in her brain. Wuss.
Oh, you
Wuss.
also your bonds of love. You have two links with yourself. That's your ability.
Yeah, I forgot. Okay.
Yeah, so go ahead and mark harmony down, I think, and mark two links there.
I will. I'm gonna write harmony down. Okay. Okay. What can we do? Oh, what would the Marlins do? Something stupid.
Oh, that is something a melody thing would say. Um, do you want to transcend? Do you want to like throw your cards on the table?
Um. Yeah. Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do
Okay.
some magic. Um.
So, what does this look like? Like you're invoking like as the harmony in Girl by Moonlight, like you become almost like one in a way with the other person. You're two people acting as one. How does that look as a whisper?
Oh man. Um. Well, I think first and foremost, it looks like her like glancing at Rafik, and like I think she's crying. It's fine. She's okay. She looks very angry. Angry little 13-year-old. Um.
I have a suggestion if
Okay,
you
give
don't
it
have
to me.
one.
Lay it
Okay,
on me.
what if like you channel your magic and like you conjure harmony, but like you're glowing with magic too and you look identical?
I mean, they already look identical, but
No, but like you literally look also like a ghost, or like harmony also looks more solid than normal. Like
mm,
you blend between being a ghost and being alive, and like the two of you are literally like literally the same, two halves of a whole in a way that you're not normally.
I like it. I like it. I like the idea of like a man. So
I'm
many
also
things have
thinking the
ruined this word for
avatars.
me, but I was gonna say
I'm
like
also thinking of like the avatar state too.
yeah. I was thinking
Like,
like a kind of shimmery golden corona.
hmm
Um.
no, I like that.
Yeah.
Like you become more ethereal and harmony becomes more substantial. And
Yeah.
like to the point where like it's hard to tell who's who. And there's like this cool magical girl transformation where she like arises from the locket and like there's like maybe like there's like a dance or something you two do and like your personalities are still evident and like the cool cutscene that plays, but then like it looks like there's just two of you.
It's fine. Hello, we're good.
Okay, you transform, and I think that like there's like a glow from the two of you now.
Okay. So important question, Jay.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have three in things now? How does this work?
So no, so you only have two in those transcended stats. So those
Okay.
transcended stats turn on, but they don't work backwards.
They don't stack, basically, right?
Right. So you count the number of dots marked. You have two in empathize, for example, in this form.
Oh, okay.
You have two in forgive, and you have two in flow.
Okay. This
Whenever you fill up your XP bar, you can either put a point in the mundane stat or the transcended stat. You
okay,
probably
cool.
put it in the mundane stat first because you have access to it all the time.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. That's cool. Okay. What can you even do, kiddo?
What do you want to do? What do you want to do?
I
So yeah,
want.
so you have your bonds of love, and then you have your transcendent abilities. Beacon. Once per transcendence, you may uplift your allies with a speech or song. When you do, it counts as spending a link on each ally that can hear you. They choose which link effect to use.
Okay. I don't have any good speeches in me. Personally, me currently sitting at the desk.
No,
Um,
you're good.
but that's cool. I also, you know, sometimes you just want to break out of jail and help your friend. Um,
Okay. So you want to help Juniper?
yeah.
Do you want to help Juniper or like deal with the zombie?
I think those are the same thing.
Right. Well, like you could run away and just let them have the zombie, for example.
No, they can't have that.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, I want to help Juniper. Which
Okay.
I guess using Beacon does help Juniper in a way.
Yeah, like I kind of like the idea, like also Beacon works with the aesthetic of like you glow, like
Yeah.
oh, you know what this is? This is that scene where Naruto is giving everyone his power.
Naruto.
Yeah, when he's got the stupid sage power or whatever, and he touches all the Leaf Village classmates and they all get their power, except for Neji who's dead.
You
Right? Like he,
know,
he gives them all their like the fox power, right? You remember that scene?
I don't, but I believe you. That sounds like something. That sounds like something that Naruto did. Naruto is basically Jesus. Um,
Learning something new about Naruto every day.
well, but yeah, that's cool and fun. Um, everyone gets a good vibe of everything will be okay. Um,
Is this a mechanical vibe or is this simply a vibe?
it's a mechanical vibe. The ability is called Beacon on the thingy, and like it's like spending a link on every ally that can hear me.
Hmm. Oh, okay.
So congratulations, you get to choose what cool effect you get.
Hmm.
Am I supposed to mark one of these little dillies next to my transcendent abilities? Or
No, that's only when you do an action while
oh, okay,
transcended.
cool. Sorry, I don't have any good like speeches.
No, you're good.
But yeah, the ability literally reads, when you use this ability, it counts as spending a link on each ally that can hear you. They choose which link effect to use. So, you can recover 2 stress, ignore a harm tag, grant 1d to your next action, um, prevent your eclipse. We already did that. So,
Okay. So you're glowing, you've got magical power. You're using beacon. What are you doing?
Like in addition to that,
Yeah, like that.
uh,
That there's no action with
breaking out
transcending.
of jail.
Okay, I mean the door's open. You just walk out.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that the door was open.
I think things have happened so quickly that like you might like break your bonds. Like you might be tied up and like you just snap the rope, or like because like you're magical now. Like
Okay.
mundane threats are not as are more trivial for you.
Okay, I'm gonna tackle the guy.
Okay.
I weigh 50 pounds and I'm gonna tackle you to the ground. It's fine.
Are both of you doing it? Like describe that to me. Like is this like melody and harmony, and harmony has like can well both of you. I think like you take on ghost characteristics, like you can jump really high, for example. Like do y'all just you tackle the legs and harmony tackles like the head?
I like it. Yeah.
I
Let's
think you
do it.
just do it. Like this one dude is just like not gonna be able to stand up to you.
um.
Um, there's not really any element of danger or threat here. Um, Especially because there's two of you.
Haha.
Yeah, you just tackle this guy, and he's just like,
Okay.
so Melody's doing some fucked up magic, and Juniper, you're kind of just like probably on your ass, because you probably fell back when this guy got tackled by two melodies? Question mark. Um, and Rafik, what are you doing?
That's a really good question. Hmm. I want. Okay, so we're the bonds of like whatever was keeping us in the little cage or whatever it was are no longer applicable, right?
Did you release Rafik, or did you focus on saving Juniper?
Probably just focused on saving Juniper.
Um. Hmm.
I
I
mean,
mean,
I can get myself out, and you don't have to like retcon things that you've done. I can work around it.
I guess that's fair. For some reason in my head, I kind of imagined that we were all like tied together.
Yeah, I imagine we were all tied to like a pole or something, like cartoon style.
um, but there's two of them, so like melody voice. Okay, we're gonna get this guy down and get Juniper safe, and then one of us can go and untie Rafik, and everything will be okay. So I don't think she did.
Okay. So Rafik, you're tied up.
Yeah.
Melody's doing some fucked up magic. Apparently, that's why she's so weird.
Hmm. Um, let me read again what my transcendent action is. You push yourself, choose one of the following additional benefits. Okay, yeah, wig. I
If you're
my
transcended, you won't need to like do an action to escape. Like at
yeah.
this point,
I'm
but
just
I'm curious
thinking
what your transcend.
if
Yeah.
it's super necessary because the ultimate goal of what I want to do is I want to try and I don't know if that's empathize or express or maybe even forgive with Zaid.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that would really require me to transcend yet, or if I could do that. I mean, I already have 1 point in empathize. I'd have to transcend if I really want to try to go for forgive, but I think it's better to go with empathize anyways, because I don't think forgive really makes a lot of sense yet, because I don't know his motivations or like what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah, but well, forgive is nice because forgive is also like I wish these were alphabetized. I just put them in the list from the book. When you forgive, you show that you care for someone despite a mistake they have made.
Mm-hmm.
Which working for these guys might be a mistake.
Yeah,
You might
that's
offer
true.
so, but I do like the idea of maybe going for empathize and then like building up to the forgive.
Yeah, that's the thing is I want to get to forgive, but I don't want to do that immediately. I feel like that's not as interesting.
So it sounds like you might be trying to gather information about Zaid actually with the empathize.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And this might be talking to him, trying to understand what's going on. Okay, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
So I don't think there's an action roll here. You're not in danger of being zombied. So in this game, you actually have questions you ask.
Okay, let me take a
So
look
go
at
ahead and
them.
find a question. They're on the right on the gather. They say gather information underneath teamwork and stuff.
Oh, I see. Oh my god, they're so small.
Yeah, you can zoom in a little bit. It should
Hold
be
on, I'm
fine.
getting closer. Okay. Ooh. I like what darkness lies in your heart. I think that gets to the point of like, hey, what the fuck? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this clearly evil thing?
Okay, go ahead and empathize for me
Yeah.
as a fortune roll.
Okay.
Oh, so Melody's a Super Saiyan. I see.
And I can add 1d to that from the beacon, right?
Yeah, if you want. Okay, so limited information. Um, there is a, I think at the, I think you're only going to get surface level information from this. There is definitely a negative emotion that like this darkness is feeding off of.
Mhm.
Um, that like there is a absolutely a negative emotion that is fueling this like darkness. It's almost like this like the shadow is actually like a dark fire that's eating away at Zaid, and the fuel source for it is this negative emotion that you can't quite identify, that you know is there,
Mhm.
and this like beguilement um is like definitely supernatural. It is feeding off of that and making and exacerbating it.
Mhm.
So you know there's something up with Saeed, but you know you're not quite sure what exactly it is.
Yes. I also have Baka. When you gather information, you can always ask, "Where's my rival? What are they doing for free?" If your rival is about to suffer fatal harm or fall into an eclipse, you can choose to be there and protect them. Okay, so I don't. I mean, I know where Melody is and what she's doing. I don't think she's about to suffer fatal harm.
So I don't think you get this question extra. I think this is on your list at all times, is the way I
Mm,
read it.
okay.
So like no matter what, you can always ask that and get that info. Or
Okay.
because I mean you know where they are. You can see them.
Yeah.
Um
I guess I was more leaning into like if the next thing that Melody does was something that would like potentially hurt her, that was something I could lean into, but it only says
okay.
explicitly like if it's fatal harm.
Oh, I see. Yeah, we'll have to see.
Hmm.
Fatal harm is going to be pretty hard. The zombie or some other magical threat is going to be the only thing that's going to be able to threaten Melody at the moment.
Melody
While
currently
Melody's
is biting
transcended.
somebody's ankles.
What's Harmony doing? Biting someone's ear?
Does Melody bite? I mean, sorry, does Harmony bite?
Y'all are two acting as one, so yes, you're biting ankles.
All right, I guess she's biting some ears.
Um,
She's pulling hair.
you're both like I feel like your personalities are like mixing in this state
Oh, that's
as
weird.
well. Yeah, so like you're getting Melody's getting a bit more reserved and Harmony's getting a bit more outgoing and
Okay,
aggressive.
I still think that she's a hair puller, not a biter.
Okay, I like that. Um, and I don't think it's that you're. I think it's like you're just your influences on each other are like being magnified. I think is what it is.
Hmm.
All right, Juniper. So like two glowing melodies have tackled this guy. Um, what are you doing?
Oh, I don't know.
So there's a bunch of guys around, and I think they
Mm,
have bad vibes. There's the really fucked up zombie in the pit. Um, Rafik is still
uh-oh.
kind of tied up back in the cage.
Let me see real quick. Can I maybe analyze the zombie?
Sure. What do you want to try and what do you give me a question that you have about it?
What is its weakness? Like, how can I stop it?
Hmm.
Is that too broad?
No, but I'm looking at the questions that you have for gather information. So that like there's a list of questions that you have in this game
Oh,
for each
I
playbook
see it.
that are different.
I see it.
Um,
Maybe, sorry, I'm reading it real quick.
no, you're good. And I think we're gonna wrap up soon, regardless, because I think we'll end on the cliffhanger if we need to. Um,
Mm, I guess who is feeling like who's the most vulnerable? Who's like feeling the most vulnerable?
oh, okay. It is the ghosts that are caged up and threatened with destruction. Um, oh well, you need to roll, analyze, and I'll see if you get more out of it.
Um, okay.
So it's a fortune roll. I completely forgot. Like, oh yeah, hold on, there's dice.
Good
Oh
God.
man, another. It's like exacerbated because there's so few dice. You search beyond the surface presentation of the world and discover secrets. Um, okay, so who here is most vulnerable? Who feeling most vulnerable? That is definitely the spirits. The ghosts that have been captured feel the most vulnerable because they're actively in danger, but also in a way that they can't help themselves. Um, I gave you that for free, so I'll give you a little bit extra for the roll. In particular, I think that I think the zombie is not vulnerable. Um, like you can just sense that, like, oh, this thing is like you need magic to deal with it, or like weapons, like guns and shit that you just don't have.
Mhm.
um, so it is like there's an absence of vulnerability. Um, we're kind of doing who here is strong or vulnerable actually as question. Um, so yeah, the zombie is very strong, and the ghosts are very vulnerable.
Okay.
Do you want to follow up on that?
So are the ghosts like trapped in like do I
Yeah,
know
they're
where the
like in
ghost
little. Think about they're like in little mason jars in a big
little
rack.
jars?
Yeah, like I imagine like a rack that like you might ship milk in. Like you might see like
Mm-hmm.
milk in glass bottles delivered to the grocery store or
Yeah.
whatever. Those stacking
Am
crates.
I around them or am I outside in the arena? Or is that like kind of all the same
It's
thing?
kind of this big room, but like you could do something about them if you wanted to. Try.
Yeah, I want to try and free them maybe.
How do you want to do it?
I'm thinking.
Yeah, describe the action narratively. We can figure out what the action looks like in mechanics.
Yeah,
Do you want to like
is
just
it like
knock over all the jars
yeah,
or
is it like a magical jar? Like if I break it open, will they be free?
uh, you probably don't know. Well,
Okay.
you might be used to ghosts because you live in the sink. Um, you've seen these things can break um like they're stuck in a jar. These things can be broken. I think you've seen it happen. Um,
Mhm.
so like this is as I don't think it's an unreasonable plan from Juniper's point of view. Just like finding some way to break them.
Yeah, I feel like just kind of like drag my hand along the shelving to knock them all down to the ground is kind of what I'm looking
Okay. So I guess the
maybe.
question is, do you want to do that with with speed? Um, so like for example, I think a flow would be pretty appropriate here. Like you're just moving quickly. Um,
Mhm.
but it might be less effective. So it might put you in more danger. Like you might need to put yourself in danger to like be really good at it. Um,
Mhm.
or I think we're fine with that. We're already kind of in that stage because it's desperate rolls.
Yeah, I mean, I think a flow would be good.
Um, yeah. So I think a flow. I think desperate standard flow. Are you spending a social link to get an extra die, or you haven't actually made an action yet that you could use the social link from, unless you used it to get rid of stress? Like you got to benefit from when Melody used Beacon or whatever.
Yeah. You can choose how to spend that.
I don't have any sort. Oh, so I have the social link.
So
So yeah.
my ability is basically you get to choose a benefit off of the social link list, whichever
As
one you
if
want.
you
Oh,
had a
okay.
social link.
Okay. Yeah, I'll spend it for an extra die.
Okay. Do you also want to push yourself or hear a dark bargain?
What's the dark bargain?
Uh, you have some followers.
Wait, what?
You have some stragglers that show up.
Oh,
Jay, you can't bring a 6-year-old here.
They're 12, excuse you.
no. Okay. No, I won't do that. I can't do that to
Okay.
them.
Okay.
Even vomit.
Um, so is it one die?
So yeah, so you have 2 dice total. You're getting one from
Yeah.
the bonus and then one for your action. So it's a desperate
Okay. Yeah.
standard flow 2D. Hey, you did it!
Nice.
Woo!
Finally.
And Mark, it's not gonna matter, but go to Mark and XP and stars. Um, and Juniper just bolts, and like while all this is being distracted with all the magic and stuff, um, just starts knocking all these ghosts down. And like before people have a chance to like stop her, I do think something happens, but like you're able to like kind of react quickly. Um, all these ghosts start getting knocked off the shelves and off their racks and stuff, and like they just start filling the area. Some of them are happy or like thankful. Some of them are a little less cognizant of what just happened, and they're just pissed. So it's a very volatile situation as these ghosts kind of just like all these conflicting emotions and memories and remnants kind of like fill the room. And I think you hear Rivet say, "You idiot, stop her!" Um, Rafik, do you want to take any direct action here?
Sorry, I had to take my headphones off for a second. What happened?
As the ghosts are being freed, Rivet just yells, like, "Stop her, you idiots." And I wanted to know if Rafik wanted to take any direct action as, like, Juniper's freeing all the ghosts, Melody's dealing with this goon, and other people are coming to fight Melody probably because, this goon's getting the crap beat out of him.
Yes. I liked the idea that after like investigating and seeing the like weird dark flame evil magic that's consuming Zaid, I feel like that's a good motivator for Rafik to transcend.
Mm-hmm.
Um hmm. I want him to transcend and okay, narratively what I want to happen is he oh god.
So I have an
Maybe
idea of how to. Oh, yeah.
no, go ahead, say your idea.
So I don't know what what your action is that you want to do. It sounds like maybe a forgive or empathize. Maybe a forgive at this point.
That's what I
Uh,
was going for, yeah.
if you want to try and get a use out of brutish,
Mhm.
you could and flavor some of the magic with brutish. You could maybe the physical feat could be breaking a hole in the ceiling so you have access to a constellation.
Yeah, I like that. That's
And then that so I'm going to give you an extra. So you're going to be rolling at desperate. So I think it's actually going to be risky. It's going to be better position because even though he's being affected by a magical force, he's still mundane at the moment.
mhm.
He hasn't become totally enthralled to the darkness yet. Um, and I think that So I want you to describe what this Brutus action is. So you're going to get a +1 to effect from your gather information earlier.
Hmm.
It's letting you zero in on this. So you're going to be rolling risky great, I think.
Okay.
Um, and in fact, it's probably even higher than that because you're getting better effect. Like you can make it. You know what? I'm going to give you controlled great,
Okay.
because of like your mundane, your magic versus mundane, and also that gather information you had earlier.
Hmm. Explain to me what like the limitations of my being able to do magic would be.
Eh, sky's the limit for you, quite literally.
Gotcha. Because I was thinking maybe there's some kind of God, I don't know how physical it would be, but just something that like breaks the roof open magically.
Yeah, so you could like you're doing a physical a feat of physical force. You
Hmm.
could throw something. You could like jump up and back through. You could like reach up and pull it down. Like or if you wanted to be more like magical, like you could like punch and your punch has like distance. Like you
Yeah, that's
punch
more
the
what
air
I was
so hard
thinking
and
of.
it's like a shockwave.
That's more what I was thinking along the lines of
Sure, yeah.
something that is a magical action that has a physical effect.
Yeah, I like that.
Mhm.
Um and I'm curious what like is it just Rafik? Is this just kind of like a brawler when it comes down to it? Like that's just like Rafik's like Rafik has this like nerdy personality, but Rafik like just gets down and dirty.
I think yeah, I think that's it. He does just kind of have an inclination towards violence to solve problems a lot of the time, like
Hmm.
despite himself.
I like
So
it, and I
describe to
love the
me
idea of
then.
like I think the ceiling kind of just comes down in big chunks and like there's a huge swath of the sky open, and
Mhm.
I think the ghosts are like fleeing from this new opening. So go ahead and mark 2 stress for your pushing yourself.
Yeah.
And is this a forgive you're doing?
Yes, I was.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're spending. Do you want to spend your last social link with Melody to get an extra +1?
Yeah. Why not?
So that's 3D controlled great,
Mhm.
and you're forgiving. What constellation are you invoking to help with this? Is this like an
Mm.
emotional healing you're doing, or what?
Yeah, I like the idea that there is a constellation that is like related to siblings in some way, that there's like
Mm,
there's like a folk tale of like, oh, one brother lives in the stars and the other brother lived on Earth, and like they still connected by seeing each other at night. And like
I
that's something
mean,
that he's pulling on.
literally can't help being a Gemini.
Yeah. No, that's Melody
Gemini,
right now.
yeah, Gemini are twins, but like I or I love what if it's like the pride and it's a constellation that represents a group of lions.
Yeah, that's cute. I could see that.
And it's not pride, it's the pride.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Just something that opens him up to like, hey, I am your brother and I do love you, but like I need you to not do fucked up evil things. Please be nice again.
what if this like everyone else hears like this enormous like loud lion roar, but like this and like you roar this like emotion at the target and they hear your message or like feel it,
Yes, emotion wave.
but everyone else just like gets this like terrifying lion roar and like maybe you have like an astral aura that like resembles a lion.
Yeah, I like the idea that like maybe there's even like a constellation symbol that he builds with his hands that kind of like floats in the air, and maybe the roar is like projected through that.
Yeah,
Okay. So controlled. The effect was standard.
great.
Effect is great, and I'm rolling with 3 dice.
Yep.
Let's go. Let's
Oh, what a
go.
crit!
Double
Ooh!
What a
sixes.
crit! Um,
Super
and
sexy.
Obliterates a guy.
you don't only clear the darkness from your brother, who I think is like physically weakened by the emotions that he is feeling. I think he falls to his knees. You clear it from every goon in the room.
Sexy.
And like time stands still. I think even the spirits like are just listening. Um, And like I think Zaid just like starts sobbing as he sees you. He's like Iki and just like can't help himself and just overcome with emotion. Um and I think all the other guys are kind of like, what the hell is going on? This zombie's just in this pit.
Mm-hmm.
um but I think that I think I like this being like the end of things. I don't think we need to dive into like how the two of you mages destroy this zombie. It's well within your abilities, but I think we're gonna end as like he's just sobbing. What do you do when you see him kind of so vulnerable? Actually, Rafik,
Um, in my heart of hearts, they just like hug or embrace in some way.
you just comfort him physically.
Yeah, I think it's something
Yeah, I think
comforting.
I think he's like extremely upset and like I think all he's saying is like I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Um, and like I think that's just kind of where this ends, as everyone's kind of like getting their like people are just like overcome with emotion and like as like the darkness I think was like keeping the light at bay and it like kind of floods back in. Everyone is just like all of those people are just kind of feeling intense emotions right now. Um, okay, I think that's where we're gonna call it. I think that's where the episode would end. Is just like this, like I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, and okay, we went a little long, low, but I hope it wasn't too long. That's Girl by Moonlight.
Man.
Fun.
I'm gonna end the recording I think in a bit, but otherwise I hope y'all had a great time and thanks for playing everybody.
Well, now I'm mad because I want to play more.
Any
It
any
was really
last
fun.
words? Any final thoughts?
Um,
Tequila.
Tequila. Also, Melody wrecks shop in the background.
She does.
Just
Yeah,
fucks
Melody's
shit
defeating
up.
the shit out of people.
Oh yeah.
I'm definitely imagining Melody literally looks like Naruto fucking Fox mode. Like it's so funny to me that I'm thinking about this.
Um, I think we talked about like Melody and Harmony having golden eyes, so they're just like glowy gold, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking wreck shop.
Yeah. There's these two little like twins just beating the crap out of people. So that's Girl by Moonlight. So the thing I like the system a whole lot. I love it. The only thing I wish is that the actions were had a little bit more player guidance and GM guidance, but otherwise, I think it's awesome. I'm glad. I hope y'all had a good time. Um, let me switch my audio output before I close voice meter.
I finished knitting a scarf in the time we were playing this.
Nice. And
Nice.
you know what? We actually did a one shot. We
Right?
did an
I'm so
honest to
proud of
God.
us.
We did an honest to God one shot. I think like one sec. I think that like oh, output.
I
I'm
want to.
very proud of us. So
Yeah.
Yeah. I
I
think
think
that.
it's
I didn't think we were gonna make it.
I think it's like, oh, the suggestion of cutting down the downtime activities as well, but also like um just getting to the action, just simplifying the clocks. There was one clock that no one even made an attempt to fill, and I think it was fine.
It's okay.
Like I think it's hard to do one shots in Forge of the Dark games, and I think I'm getting better at it. I think this is the best one I've done because it literally was a one shot, and it wasn't a one shot that was like 8 hours long or whatever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say that I think that it's really neat that even though the outsider is flavored as being kind of a bruiser, um, Rafik's over here being the softest boy in the world,
Hmm.
and even though the Harmony is like a support class, Melody's just over here beating the shit out of some dudes.
We like to defy expectations.
Love it. 10 out of
We like
10.
queering the playbooks.
Jesus.
That's in the instructions.
It's
Well,
true.
yeah, I guess so. That's true and fair. Okay, I'm going to end my recording also.
This is Rafik.
Okay, hold on, show me. This is
Yeah,
Rafik, everybody.
that's the vibe.
That's the vibe. All right. Tequila.
Tequila.